In every age and time, some of us are called upon to join the battle. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
This is Bad Movies, Worst People.
So I want to just start this by saying I definitely fell asleep a couple times during
Yeah, this wasn't
this.
nearly as bad as I'd hoped, and it was more boring.
Yes.
What is this?
Oh, yeah, I just said we should do that. This film that we are discussing today is Doctor Strange, not with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yes,
notice.
Doctor Strange from 1978.
Sorry.
This is starring Cole Hauser?
It looks like it. Yeah.
Looks like it, but not.
Time travel Cole Hauser. Maybe Paul Rudd and Keanu Reeves and Tom Cruise are all part of that same Cole Hauser cult, but we just never saw it with Cole Hauser because he's smart enough to change his name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
This guy, Peter Wooten, looks
Wooten.
exactly like
Hooten?
Hooten.
Hooten.
Hooten and hollering.
H-O-O-T.
not
Yeah,
Wooten.
he's hooting
Hooten.
and hollering.
He looks exactly like a 1970s Cole Hauser would look.
Yeah.
He's got a longer head.
Those steel blue eyes, just
Dreamy.
like.
I
Even
got
the
lost in him
chin.
a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
they kept
sure.
putting that focal light, just that one rectangle of light.
Oh, no,
over
that's
the
actually
eyes.
just his face.
Those eyes are
The movie.
82% of the reason this guy got hired.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
also,
guarantee.
82% of this movie.
The other 18% is people waggling their fingers.
Oh, man, I really wanted to make a
uh,
joke about the percentage, but I was like, man, if I say 18% and it's not right, I'm going to look like an idiot.
Also, Jessica's cleavage.
I was going to say the other 18% is just power surging.
Power surging,
You see,
yes.
you hear some power surging.
So this movie came out, like I said, in 1978, rated PG-13, I guess, even though it was a made-for-TV movie.
But I think we agree that it's because of the dark arts.
Yes.
That's the only reason it's PG-13.
Yeah.
This kid, I think nowadays would probably come out at PG. There's cleavage and slight innuendos, but there's really nothing.
I really, like, barely any innuendo. Like,
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm like,
there's-
An old man gets
fucking-
thrown in front of a car, but you don't see it.
No, you don't see it.
So,
you
like-
see
you
his,
see great
you see his face.
You see things that are not that happening.
It's a lot
You
of
see
fun
a close-up
right
of his face, and you see his 25-year-old stunt double.
And then his ooh face.
He's magic, dude. He can turn into a 25-year-old anytime he's thrown down a bridge.
Oh, that's how he saved himself.
Yep.
All right, so let's get to this. This guy's name who directed this is Philip Deguerre. I want to say Duguere. Sounds right.
Gruyere.
Wow.
And he wrote and directed this. And he also, the only other things he directed are 2 episodes of Twilight Zone and 2 episodes of something called The Black Sheep Squadron.
Never heard of that.
And I know a lot of old TV.
What year are we talking for that?
I don't know.
Okay. Before our time, probably, though?
Yes, it looked
All right.
like a 70s, 80s, like maybe it was a wannabe A-Team.
All right.
Okay.
Black Sheep Squadron could easily be a knockoff A-Team.
I'd
The
watch
B-Team. I don't know. And he also wrote a bunch of shit, but it was like 1 to 5 episodes of 1,000 different shows. Like I think it was like All in the Family. There was some Twilight Zone episodes.
So this is kind of his big thing.
Yeah, this is definitely his most. It's a movie.
Yeah.
It was still a TV movie. so I
Unless he
guess-
has like a porn nom de plume.
Yeah, which he might based on this movie.
Yes, I wouldn't doubt that.
I would say so.
So it starts with like some occult imagery. Right? Well, first of all, there's this speech, part of which is what I read earlier.
Yeah, there's
Or not a
more to
speech,
it
but
beforehand. A text.
Yeah, of a non-mobile scroll. I don't
Yeah,
know why
it's
they
not
weren't
even a
scrolling.
scroll because it fades in and out.
Yeah. This is a year after Star Wars. If they're trying to bite Star Wars, they should be scrolling.
I feel like they were. There's a lot of ways they worded things in the script.
Oh,
and I'm
well-
like, okay, Yoda,
And 90% of the magic in this is just the Force.
Yeah.
100%, 100% of your 90%.
No, I definitely think someone was watching Star Wars when like, all right, we got to do this. The Jedi mind trick is in this movie.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Well, because presumably almost everybody listening has seen at least one of the 2 new Doctor Stranges.
Oh, for sure.
And the magic in that is a lot more like the magic in the comics. You don't see all the arm movement so much, but it's a comic book.
Right.
But they do. He puts his hand out, and there's like the symbols that come up. And,
Yeah,
like,
we
little
see the
shields
sigils
and, like,
there and whatnot.
yeah, that kind of stuff. That's
The
how it looks in
runes.
the comics. It's mostly hand waves until like the very end of the movie.
I was doing the
It sounded like it.
Power surging.
power surge.
But like the little bit of the magic we see is just which I mean it's 1978.
Yeah.
The layover like animation special effects
Which
that we
we
saw at the time. Like,
Don't really see a lot until like maybe an hour into this movie.
oh yeah, no, it's the third act of this movie.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Primarily.
You were sleeping. Don't worry
That's
about
right.
it.
Right after the acid trip is when the flashy
I
stuff
fell
started.
That's when we
asleep
get our
during the
best.
This
acid
guy got
trip.
perma-fried. This movie is actually a PSA about not doing psychedelics.
I've always said say perhaps to drugs. Just see what they are first.
Just
Make
try it
up
out
your own mind.
once, maybe
Want to
twice.
do some drugs? Perhaps.
Perhaps.
It's crack.
No,
No.
I'm okay.
I'm good.
I'll pass.
It's crocodile. Am I having a bad day? No.
I'll lick a toad. I'll lick a toad, dude.
What is a what? A
Crocodile was that drug. It was kind of not really big out here. It got big in like New York and Florida and stuff. It was that one a few years
Florida,
ago.
I see.
People were doing it. It was like I think it's like a bath salts-esque kind of thing, but it would like literally make like hard spots on your skin, like fucking grayscale from Game of Thrones.
Jesus.
What futuristic fucking hellscape is this from?
I don't know, but that's the name of it. Crocodile. Literally, it's like a Russian drug, I think. And literally, it came from like that. It would make people's like parts of their skin hard, and it would look like crocodile skin. I'm like, you named your drug after the worst side effect,
Yeah.
and people are like, give me that.
You take this drug,
God
you turn
damn it,
into
I'm in.
crocodile. Okay.
Look, this bathtub meth isn't doing it anymore.
Shit.
That's a meth. It's like the fucking hipster drug.
I'm just thinking-
We're using like all organic meth, by the way. This is locally sourced Drano.
It's not blue.
All these people
not
living
blue,
in
ain't good.
Florida who have access to like uncut cocaine, but they're like, well, I'm too poor for that shit, so I'm gonna do meth. But
Oh,
they
it's
just make it
passé
in their
now.
bathtub.
If you live in Miami, you just be like, I don't do coke anymore. Everyone does coke.
The kind of people who would do crocodile, I'm thinking of as the ATM couple from Breaking Bad.
Okay, I was just gonna think that. I was just thinking that.
I was
not
just gonna
going
think that. I was just gonna
Damn
think
it!
that.
You read my fucking mind.
Are you a sorcerer supreme, sir? Because nobody in this movie was.
No,
Like just
There-
lack of magic all around. And I know it sounds like I'm shitting on it because I am right now. But there are some saving graces to this movie.
it's not as. Like I said, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I've seen the trailer a few times, and I was like, that looks horrendous.
I'll say this: I don't think anybody acting wise phoned this in. I think everybody.
No.
I think
Yeah.
everybody's trying for their roles. Even
Oh,
Jessica
especially-
Walters. I don't know what she has done before this. By the way,
Yeah.
Jessica Walters is the mother from Arrested Development. and
That's
is-
what most people will
And
know
that's
her
that's
from.
what I know her from.
Isn't she also in? No, she's not in Archer.
Yes, that she's the mom
Oh,
in Archer.
she
she
Oh,
is the mom in
absolutely.
Archer. Okay,
She's
that's
the
what I
same
thought.
character. I'm pretty sure
And if
Archer
you
is
feel like-
related to like Job. and
Archer is Job.
if you feel like having a good Archer, as
Archer is
Joe-
is a more successful Job, and it's saying something.
Archer is the Job she was wanting.
if you feel like crying, go watch the fucking Archer send off to Jessica Walters. You will have a good cry. It's excellent. But anyway,
I'm looking to see really quick. So it looks like she started in like it looks like a soap opera in 1951 or 1962. The show started in 1951. But so this is 18 years later. But I'm scrolling through it. I'm like, she was in an Alfred Hitchcock. She was in one episode of Flipper.
ooh, probably a good one.
That was my dolphin.
No, I think everyone that's listening knows that was a dolphin. I was doing an impression of a gibbon. That was my Western African rhinoceros.
Right up the
Yeah, before this, she was in a lot of 1 episode to 3 episode arcs of stuff. So
Yeah.
this being a TV movie is kind of, I guess, probably her bigger break from being a character actress, which is kind of what she remained as far as I've considered until.
I was impressed.
Arrested
by
Development.
her.
Development.
Still a character.
I loved her in this though.
Yes, she's a character.
Well, and that's to my
But-
point, though. Everyone in this acting wise is giving a shit. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
no one's here
no
for
one
just a
phoned it.
paycheck.
No one faked it.
Yeah, they're acting
Even
their
the
asses off.
oh.
Hey, she's trying, man.
At least you know she could never fake it with you.
Oh, that feels so good. Oh.
So yes, we see Jessica Walters as Morgan Le Fay, not Morgana Le Fay,
No,
who is
you
the
can't
character.
call her Morgana.
Maybe I'm not that well versed in 70s Marvel, so maybe it was Morgan,
definitely.
and then later on it became Morgana. I feel like she wasn't even introduced. Like I read something. So this movie came out shortly after the very first Marvel comics where Morgan Le Fay or Morgana Le Fay was ever featured.
Oh wow, so quick adaptation.
Yeah, and it wasn't even. She wasn't even. It said I think that she didn't meet Doctor Strange until like 1984.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think we said, but Jessica Walters, rest in pictures.
Rest in pictures, man. Yeah, she's gone but not forgotten.
Not forgotten.
So this is something else I can watch to remind me of her because it used to just be Arrested Development
Yeah.
for my repertoire.
Well, you can watch it without me.
Speaking of being dead,
I kind of did.
speaking of being dead, she's talking to a giant dildo monster.
Oh
my
In
goodness.
hell.
With
With
like a meeper mouth.
Yeah, so
oh no, Beaker.
Yes.
He's talking about Beaker from the Muppets.
he says meep, but beak.
Yeah.
Beaker.
yeah,
Beaker.
yeah. He says Meep. His
Yeah.
name is Beaker.
Well, I call
Meeper,
him
whatever.
Meeper.
Well, you can call him whatever.
But
you
yeah,
want.
this thing looks. I mean, it's stupid, and I mean, everybody knows I'm all for some goofy practical effects, and
Yeah.
it is a like stop motion thing.
Little Harry
It's not
Housen.
like a puppet
Yeah.
per se. Like it's not like they had. So this thing is faded in the background. You can't really see it because they
Covered
know
in
it looks
fog.
like shit. Yeah,
And
it's,
red lights.
It's halfway see through. It's in red.
Oh
There's
yeah,
fog.
you're
You can't.
not correctly lighting this on purpose.
But you
Yeah.
just see a large, weird, lumpy dildo-looking creature that has 2 to 4 eyes at any given moment,
Mm-hmm.
and it has this little mouth that's literally like Beaker from the original Muppets, where it's like that flap that opens and closes.
I know I just said rest in pictures Jessica Walters, but there's an alternative where she goes to town on this thing.
I mean,
I mean, he does.
Maybe
say
he's
she
under
has to
a
satisfy his lust.
he
Yeah.
does say that.
I mean, she's got to go find the sorcerer sub cream.
Sorcerer sub sandwich, maybe.
I'd eat that.
She's told she has to kill the old man, which is Lindemer,
Yeah, sure.
which is not, as far as I remember, a character at all.
I'll tell you what he's not using his magic for is cleaning up that fucking cobweb nostrils this guy's got going on. Because a couple times we are going to see just a shot right up those hooters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And-
he's got old man nose.
Yep.
He's got old man everything.
I mean, he's several hundred years.
That's
Yes.
fair.
Old.
Apparently, he was several
what he
hundred.
says.
7 Huffa. She has to kill the old man or his apprentice, who is not his apprentice.
Not yet.
The other guy. And she doesn't even know who to look for. He's like, look for the ring. I'm like, this is a planet with a lot of people, right?
Also, 78. A lot of man jewelry out there. I mean, we're
Yeah,
talking
but,
about a
like-
lot of rings.
That ring.
Yeah, but I mean, come on. I mean,
There's more than one ring to rule them all in this universe.
Is
yes. I mean, this is kind of the one ring.
Yeah, it is. It is very
The one ring to make you
precious-y.
get a glowing box.
there? And he definitely got a glowing box at the end, didn't he?
So we're
Lucky
introduced to Wong, who is traditionally his sidekick. Early on, he was more of kind of like in this, where he's like your manservant / butler.
Very butler.
Like and then he became more of like his friend / compatriot over the years because they
Gotcha.
realized, a subservient Asian man to a white guy who's called master,
Huh.
maybe not a super great idea.
Yeah, it's weird they came up with that on their own.
Yeah. So, fuck, what happens? Lindmer,
Not a lot.
that's the problem. I'm
Movie
trying to remember how
is
this
so
movie starts.
slow.
Oh, so Lindmer is telling Wong that Morgan is coming at dawn and that he has 3 days to do something.
I remember him saying, "Recognize this face, memorize it," and it's a drawing from 500 years ago.
Oh yeah, when he's
Well,
explaining,
memorize that
he's
face.
explaining what Morgana is.
Yeah, and you know what? Wong has a comment there where he's like, and she still looks the same, which is him being like, wow, she still looks the same. But it could be like Dr. Strange's or Dr. Lindmer, I don't know, adjunct Professor Lindmer here at the beginning is like, look at this picture and memorize it. And he's going, and she still looks the same?
Yeah.
It's been 500 years, buddy.
And
You think she looks like that guy?
And then Lindmer was like, "Yeah, well, evil does have some."
Has some benefits.
Evil has its perks. This is a different universe than Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Because-
Because evil, you look like shit.
All evil people in Star Wars look like dying penis pretzel things. I don't know what that is. I don't know.
All right.
A
Question.
dying penis.
Question
meant to
about.
say-
Let's get rid of a couple of those words and just talk about the penis pretzel. I
meant
want to know.
I meant to say raisin, and I said pretzel. And I
Can't go
don't
back.
know.
Can't go back. Now I'm stuck on a thought.
Okay.
I want to know: is it a pretzel shaped like a penis, or
Or
a
a
pretzel
penis.
made out of penises?
Or,
Like-
or is it just like a salted penis?
You
like
can't
a
ask. You
pretzel?
tell
Are we
me.
doing, like-
You're the-
I said it by accident. I'm
Are we
asking the
talking,
gods
like,
who gave it to me.
I would like to think
Or like
of.
a pretzel twist.
I want to think of the normal pretzel shape made out of cocks. That's what I want.
I
the
mean-
little two edges
Okay.
at the very bottom. That's the.
That's
heads.
why it's dying, because he took it and he bent it into a pretzel shape. There goes some of
Yep,
my drink.
I saw that.
He bent it into a pretzel shape, and that's why it's dying now, because the circulation's cut off.
Yeah, I haven't been fortunate enough to be able to tie my dick into a pretzel.
Who is
knot
this? Are we
yet.
talking?
Can you tie it in a knot? Can you tie it in a bow?
Can you throw it over your shoulder like a
Do
continental
your balls
soldier?
hang low? Do they wobble left and right?
All right. Well, so we have a movie we watched. I swear.
Yeah, I think
mean-
I watched it.
I think you guys watched it.
It's almost over. So we finally meet Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, who is a psychiatrist that definitely does physical medicine.
Yeah, he's treating ulcers.
He's a resident psychiatrist, so he's still doing residency and in psychiatry, but he is still a physician and knows everything.
But I don't think that's how science works.
That is how doctor and
I bet
hospitals work.
psychiatrists aren't real doctors.
You have to do. Fuck you.
I've never
Also,
been to a shrink
you-
for an ulcer.
I'm not saying that
You
they're not
have-
real. They're not that kind of doctor. They don't have a residency at a hospital. They're fucking psychiatrists. If anything, they have an internship with a psychiatrist, which
Well,
would be really
You
awkward,
have
by
to
the way.
do the psychotherapy rounds. You have to go every way when getting your doctor.
Do you know what? Doctor Strange isn't a fucking psychiatrist. He's a surgeon.
That's what I was gonna say. Like this doesn't
why I
matter
was
because
confused.
he's this has never been in the comics as far as I've read that he was a fucking psychiatrist.
This movie gives Doctor Strange absolutely zero motivation for becoming Doctor Strange.
yeah, no car accident.
Yeah, there's no...
He doesn't lose his hands.
Because, yeah, that's the whole thing. We saw it, like, the modernized version in the movie is a little different than the original, but it's still right in those same lines. He's an asshole who's just the best surgeon in the world.
They did start him with lipstick on his face, so he is
Yeah,
a
that's valid.
womanizer.
He's a
Valid
sexy
point.
womanizer until the next 10 minutes. Until
Yeah.
after the first 10 minutes, I mean.
Yeah,
But, you know, and he gets in an accident and he can't use his hands and he looks for a cure. And, like, that's all kind of the thing. In this, he's just, like, the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Who also, though, has no problem with being like, I think we should fuck nurses, to this nurse that he's talking to.
well, okay, he can't be perfect. No, but he does. He is thirsty for nurses and very pretty much altruistic when it comes to treating people. Like
Yeah.
genuine good person in this story.
Yeah, his boss, like, I want to say the doctor's name was, like, Frank Herbert or something. I don't care.
Yeah.
Dr.
The movie
Taylor.
didn't care, so
He's
I
in
don't
it for a
either.
cup of coffee.
Is it Taylor?
Yeah, Dr.
I
Taylor's
don't
an
know why I'm
asshole.
thinking Herbert.
Yeah.
Fuck
Taylor
Dr.
was an
Taylor.
asshole.
Yeah, no, fuck him for almost killing her.
Well, because his whole thing with everybody is like, get him up to fucking normal and skirt him to the county. Not our problem.
Yeah.
Also, a tranquilizer. I'm going to say it is a sedative.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gives her tranquilizers. Well, I didn't give her any sedatives. Just this fucking horse tranquilizer.
Just Thormazine.
I made her do a beer bong and NyQuil. That's what I prescribed her. Nurse, I need a beer bong and NyQuil stat.
Can
So
I have
the-
you as my doctor?
The girl who gets beer
would
bong
live.
NyQuil is Clea Lake, is the character, played by a woman named Anne Marie Martin.
Her eyes were beautiful.
Very beautiful woman. Very 70s butt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, hey, I'm
Take
not
that
from the
thing out,
70s.
sir.
Like that Jordache jeans look
Yes,
going on.
exactly. Like, hey, you know why those logos were so big on those butt cheeks, right? Because it was like a billboard.
But I think as a culture, we didn't like big butts at that point.
The next thing I wrote down was power surging, which we've already mentioned multiple times. So, as people should know at this point, I watch it with the subtitles on because I can't hear anything. And
Also, you get moments like this.
yeah, the sound descriptions, you know, it's always like eerie music, triumphant music, whatever. The sound descriptions of this movie are all over the fucking board. It's like upbeat techno music, and it's like, and I'm
Oh,
like,
by the way, I love the score for this movie.
Yeah.
90% of the time.
Yes. But real quick, this power surging is literally the sound description of any time someone uses magic in this movie.
Yeah. The sounds
So-
have varied.
Yes.
But the description is
It's
always
anything
that.
from like to like to just a full on like wanka, 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 wanka.
Like when she's trying when she's trying
Was
to
that
do the
Pac-Man I
mental
did?
grab.
Wanka,
When she's trying to do like the mental grab onto Strange, and he just like grabs the back of his neck and is avoided of all of her.
Oh,
Strange
that's
mental
what
grab.
happened.
Yeah. Is that what?
The person sleeping just explained to me something in this movie because I thought him scratching his neck was like, oh, I feel magic hitting me and I don't know what it is because I don't know anything about magic, and like he just knew it was there and somehow like warded it off. I didn't even think about the fact that his fucking ring is on his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stupid.
I mean, this movie barely touches this ring, which
I mean,
I was gonna say, like when you watch it visually, it's focused on the ring a lot.
Nothing is
but
said.
All we know later on is the dad willed it to him.
Yeah, and we don't know why. We don't really like. He's like, "Well, who's my dad? What did he
So,
do?"
Was
Oh,
this
he
like
died for me, dude.
What is that thing
So your
in
dad's
the
God or Jesus?
What is that thing in The Witcher where you're like, just give me the
Toss a coin to your witcher.
Yeah, that
Oh Valley of Plenty.
The prize. What the fuck?
Yeah, the unknown prize or
Oh,
whatever.
Law of Surprise.
Law of Surprise.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go.
So like, is that what his Strange's father did? Was like,
I'm guessing.
you saved my life, so I give you the Law of Surprise. Oh, guess what? I actually have a son at home. I will bequeath him to you.
Turns out he's
No.
magic.
oh,
I-
that's what you're saying to Doctor Not Strange.
He's
Lindmer?
not a doctor. He's just Lindmore.
Sorry,
Well,
Papa,
they're all doctors
He's
in our
a
minds.
sorcerer.
Because he's sorcerer sub cream. It's all a porno. They're all doctors in our minds.
Oh,
Okay.
so yes. So speaking of, it's all a porno. So this music, right off the bat, hit us. You mentioned liking the score, but it's all.
No, I mentioned loving it, Derek.
It's a really nice mixture of like very
Debbie
early
Does
John
Dallas.
Carpenter, like, and yes, Debbie Does Dallas.
Yeah.
Like it is porno.
Debbie Does Carpenter.
That's what we said. It's a porn scored by John Carpenter. Mm-hmm. It's like
John Carpenter presents his thing.
like I can't even. Yes, I don't know, man. I love it. Literally the worst scored scene in this entire movie is towards
Giuseppe?
the end. Giuseppe for worst scoring.
Oh no!
Oh,
well,
no.
In,
Like,
in a particular scene, because
best
what I'm talking about is that the
score
fucking
unmatching
scene
the
at
movie.
the end,
Yes.
when Jessica Walters is trying to fuck Peter Hooton, and
It's the only
all of
time
a
there's
sudden-
not sexy
yeah,
music.
all of a sudden it goes to like Disney opening music. It's the only time that we don't
Oh,
have
that's right.
weird like synth bass and saxophone.
this is where we should have like the
was like-
Yeah.
and it's like
harpsichord going everywhere.
yeah, like Jack,
expecting
I
this-
think you said when we were watching it, there's birds holding up
This
like a
is-
title card.
They're doing it.
Yeah, you see, no,
They're
you just
doing
see
it.
them holding up the titles like "Birds Are My Friends." This song is called "Birds Are My Friends." Fucking whoever scores Disney.
Jessica Walters has like little demons running up her legs and like little
I've seen
bats,
that. One's Bobcat
bats are
Goldthwait.
landing on her shoulder.
I've seen that porn.
One is Bobcat Goldthwait for
Oh,
sure.
Jessica, we're gonna get him.
You gotta make sure you fuck him hard. You gotta ring off.
Mephisto or something.
Oh, Mephisto me.
I feel like Derek wins on that one.
Oh, he does.
Jack is the better impressionist.
Yeah, but
that's
that
the
one
first
you
Bobcat
got.
By
I've
the
ever
way,
tried
I'm
to
gonna-
do.
I have never been more offended. Also, not really. I didn't care. The other day, Whitney got a text from Amber, I think, saying she was listening to an episode and she was like, "I love what was it, Jack's
My Marky Mark.
Marky
I
Mark?
think.
Yeah, Jack's
I was like,
Marky
"Where's
Mark
my
is
phone?"
great." And I was like, "I did a lot of Marky Marks. Why are you saying Jack's Marky Mark is great?"
Because
Hey, my boy, Greg likes your Seagal more than mine.
Oh, really? The gravelly Seagal?
Yep.
Aw, hi
So,
Greg.
yeah, hi Greg.
Steve Gravel.
He is listening
Here's to
now.
you, babe.
Yeah. And hey, can you go one episode without shout out Amber? We know you love her. Okay.
That's why when I said
No,
it, I
I
was like, I
can't.
think it was from.
No, shout out to Amber. Fucking love her.
I'll shout her out all day. It's just that you do it every fucking week.
So, what's his name here? Captain Mediocre, whatever, the doctor.
Dr. Mediocre. Sorcerer subpar.
Lumner?
Sorcerer subpar.
My mind keeps wanting to say Lundgren, and it's definitely not Dolph Lundgren. And if it was, this movie would be 18 stars higher.
Oh my god.
Who did
Lindmer?
Can we say
Lindmer sounds about
it's
right.
Lindmore, Lindmore. The
Oh,
sleepy
okay,
person
you have
knows.
it. You have. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop looking it up because you have it.
MER, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, go fuck yourself. He's
I will.
He's the shadow Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel. That's a good name. He's Harvey Keitel.
Harvey Keitel is something I would watch. By the way,
because
Yes.
he's a wannabe Harvey Keitel with a big fat drug dealer mustache.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
70s drug dealer.
Oh, did you notice, by the way, just to talk about this movie again?
We were kind of talking
He
about
has the Doctor Strange like gray temples
Yeah.
thing.
Like, he's got
it's
the
not
hair.
on Doctor Strange.
No.
it's
No, he has to be
on-
young and
No,
handsome.
fuck, Doctor Strange.
Lattimore. What's his name?
Lindmer.
Lindmore. Think of
So Lindemans.
yes, Lindemans. I will expect Lindemans.
No, but he has it instead of actual Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
But what is Stephen Strange? What is Hooters hair? The Hooters.
Hooters.
All right, so we got
what is-
Captain Mediocre and Hooter.
Hooters hair.
Hooter is wearing the most delightful curly fro.
Yeah,
Like, nice
the
and
little
tight,
white
though.
boy
Nice
fro.
and tight.
When he
white
first
boy
appeared
porn
on
fro.
screen, I think, Whitney, you said, is that Steve Gutenberg?
Oh
No,
no, I
Jack
said,
said
Oh,
Gutenberg.
and he has the lipstick
I
on his
said-
bottom right. So I said, is that Steve Gutenberg with herpes?
I said no. I see Cole Hauser.
Yes.
And you know what? I
Yes.
didn't at the moment, but like a little bit later, I'm like, fuck, dude. That is Cole Hauser. Just time traveling Cole Hauser.
Same
Any fans of
mannerisms.
Yellowstone out there?
Hauserberg.
Oh my God!
If
right?
you're a fan of Yellowstone, which I am, by the way,
Yes. Excellent show.
get you a little Cole Hauser in 1978.
I mean, if you've seen Dazed and Confused, you got Cole Hauser.
This
with
is
a
actually
paddle.
close to Cole Hauser's hair in.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
it was like.
He's
This
got
is the
that
grown-out
tight little
version.
fro.
Yes.
Holy shit, we're right. Let's look up and see if Peter Hooten died right after this movie was made. He died in the mid 80s. No, it would have to be the early 80s because Cole Hauser. That movie came out in 94, Days
Yeah.
and Confused. So
Yeah.
Cole Hauser had to have been born before this movie came
77,
out. So
I'm
it doesn't
sure.
add up.
I'm looking it up anyway. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead
So
with
the
this
fake- so-
finger quote plot points.
So Captain Mediocre meets Jessica Walters on this bridge, this like walking bridge over the street in New York.
You shall not pass.
She had been eyeballing this college girl who was Clea Lake or whatever I said her name was.
She had already like implanted the thing in her head.
She hard stared at her,
Yeah.
and there was like a.
Sadly,
noise.
Peter Hooten's still alive.
Oh.
Well, I
Why
mean,
is
let's
that
not say
sad?
sadly.
I
For
said
our
what I
conspiracy
said. I said
theory.
what I said. If we have a loyal listener, they'll go to his house tonight, and they're gonna. Just kidding. Just kidding.
And then flash them.
Oh, see, we can't even cover it up. Like, who's that guy that killed George Harrison? It's like they told me to do it.
Wait, George Harrison died?
Yeah, the guy that like snuck into his house and stabbed him.
The Beatles guy?
Yeah, didn't
Oh,
he die in like
man.
the
Didn't
80s or 70s?
George Harrison died, in like the early
90s?
2000s.
I don't know.
Who am
some
I
guy,
thinking
some
of?
guy broke into his house and stabbed him.
Like
Right?
Paul
Oh, that's a
McCartney's the
bummer.
only living Beatle.
Oh, I thought Ringo was
Oh,
still
there
Yeah,
is
alive.
Ringo's
Ringo.
still out there, but
Don't forget about
don't
me.
blame yourself for forgetting
I
about
was
Ringo.
a Beatle too.
The old man meets
Oh, that's right.
Jessica Walters on the bridge, but then she turns into Clea or something. who
Possesses
then-
her.
Yeah, but like Jessica Walters disappears and Clea's there all of a sudden.
I have a feeling, never explained this, but I have a feeling she's not really in this realm. For a while, she's not in. She's not. Yeah,
That she's
we
just-
see because who else sees her?
projections.
Projection,
Yeah, who else
yeah.
sees her? She's an asshole projection. She's doing asshole projection.
Well, there's definitely a time where she's standing in the hospital of the hallway dressed like a sorceress and no one says anything.
Yeah.
So there you go.
They see her through mirrors or
That
fucking
makes more sense now.
Dr.
Or in your
Lindemann
dreams.
sees him. In my dreams, absolutely. But yeah, we can chalk it up to asshole projection.
I get it now. That actually ties in a little bit more that I
They
did
should have
see.
done that work. I shouldn't be having to tell us, right? Like that should have been. We knew that she wasn't really there.
It's supposed to be obvious.
But
don't
anyway,
you know?
So Clea shows up and she walks up to Dr. Lozenge or whatever
Yep,
and
yep.
like grabs him by the titties. She lifts this old man by his breasts.
By his breasts.
And throws him off this bridge. And we get like the 22-year-old stuntman that's falling off the bridge with a gray wig.
shot of those cobwebs.
Yeah, we get a great slow-mo. It's not even a slow-mo. It's like he was just moving slow.
Yeah, no, they have this guy in front of a camera just leaning back real hard and going, oh.
But slowly.
Yeah, you know what? I put too much reflection in it. He's being thrown off a bridge and the close-up on his face is him going,
It's like
and leaning back. I leaned back. For
it sounds
everybody
like
at home.
me having to wake up hungover. Like,
Oh, speaking of having to wake up hungover, so he falls and gets hit by a car, and he's perfectly fine and wakes up. So he falls off
No, he limps
off
away.
a 30-story bridge or a 30-foot bridge. This is the second time I've done that. Like a 30-foot bridge.
30-story bridge. You ain't living off
You
now,
ain't living
dude.
off.
There's
This
some
is-
brain
You know
matter.
what? This is not Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. There are no 30-story bridges in this world.
Oh man,
Uh,
Peter Jackson's fucking Doctor Strange sounds
Oh
amazing.
man, yeah.
It's probably better
It,
than
it
this.
really does. I'm not
I
being
mean,
sarcastic.
honestly, it wouldn't be that far from Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange. I don't think.
It would
When you
be-
talk
it
about
would
early
be-
horror Peter Jackson versus like Sam Raimi's directing style, they're very similar.
I'll just say this though. My only criticism of the movie is not true. It's not the only, but in the Doctor Strange that we didn't watch, the second one, when they go to all the different worlds, they all are just so boring and basic. Peter Jackson would have made them lush and luxurious. I think so.
I don't know. I'm torn. I have to watch it again. I only saw it the one time in the theater,
I've seen
I
it
do
twice
own it.
now, and I still do like it a lot. It's just that why does Spider-Man look different in every universe, and Doctor Strange looks the same in every universe? And not to mention those worlds are just like he travels to other worlds dimensionally, and we barely see him. That's
I'm gonna
kinda
go out
shitty.
on a limb here, and I'm gonna say it has
You guys are
something
both
to do-
nerds.
Yeah,
Got it.
It has something to do
You knew
with
that.
Let's put it in the view of like Doctor Strange is like the most powerful being
he's a
in
prime.
in the thing. Yeah, so his version is him throughout all of the universes, even though there's slight differences like personality and stuff. But the person, the body, the appearance
what,
is
dude?
the same through all the universes.
I can eat that.
Yeah. This is
You know
coming
what
from
I
the
could
guy
eat?
who read a lot of Marvel Cosmic comics.
Yeah.
And the Cosmic Doctor Strange, it's all the same. That's like the bizarre shit where it's like, well, this guy's the same everywhere, but that guy's not.
And you know what? That actually wraps it up for me on that. It's like, all right, that makes sense.
There you go. I just gave you an extra star for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Can't give it 6.
Why not? There's 10 fingers, unless you were me and you had 11.
You have a weird life, Whitney.
Speaking
You've
of
had
being a witch.
delightful, weird life.
Speaking of being a fucking evil witch,
Oh,
gave
yeah.
an extra thumb.
You like my cackle too?
But so I was saying when she gets
dog too.
It's your little dog too.
so when this guy gets thrown off the bridge.
Oh God!
And
That
he hits
scene
this,
is
and
the
this
best.
car hits him. What I was getting to before was this guy gets out of the car, the guy who was driving it, and goes, "Oh no!"
Oh no!
And he has a.
Did you
and
see that?
He's got a very like Clevelandy delivery from family. He's like, "Oh no!"
Oh no, my name is Cleveland Brown, and I am proud to be.
A cab driver in town.
He wasn't even a cab. This was a very nice Cadillac.
Oh, was it?
It looked
I don't
like a
remember.
No,
Cadillac
he
to
wasn't
me.
a cabbie, but
Oh.
but still,
He
He was
wasn't
in
a
a
joke.
I
caddy,
like your
not a
jokes, though.
cabbie.
Oh,
Yeah, you gotta flip the letter. Flip the letter.
I'm dyslexic. It's fine.
So Doctor whatever, fucking Captain Lozenge gets up and he's like, "What happened to the girl?"
I love it.
And everybody's like, "What girl? There's no
What
girl."
girl?
There's no
There are
girl.
500 people
There's no
watching this,
girl.
by the way. Like
Did
everybody's
you
standing
see
around.
somebody?
You hear a background like, is he walking away?
Yeah.
Marky Mark was
Oh,
there,
no.
by the
No,
way.
somebody
Is
else-
he walking away over there?
Hey, bro, is he walking away?
Bro, you see that old man get hit by
Damn
that
it,
guy?
he's back.
I'm not gonna let you get rid of him. Where do you think I'm going?
But
Stay
then,
right fucking here.
but then when he walks away, he does his sorcery magic,
His power surges and
His
he
power
touches his
surges.
hip and he's fine.
and then no hobble.
I would every day use this on myself when I'm just super hungover.
Super hungover. You mean when you wake up from sleeping and you're like, man, it hurts to live.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause
Well,
don't we
find me
drink-
a day I'm not hungover. we can talk. But yeah, long story short, dude, that would be my new cup of coffee. Like, I can't talk to you until I get some magic in the face. Oh, all right. What did you want to talk about? This is great. I'm having a nice little time
depending
now.
on what you were drinking the night before, you might need magic on the butt.
Oh God! Did you eat Jack in the
Oh,
Box afterwards?
I had, yep.
Yep.
I got the mini egg rolls and I regret nothing.
It's always the tacos for us.
So we cut to Bleecker. Okay, I thought it was Bleecker Street, but it's Bleecker Court, which is really annoying because Doctor Strange lives on Bleecker Street.
Yeah. And,
So just
and
call it-
Bleecker
Yeah, but
this
Street's a
is
real
Lindor's.
street in New York.
This is Lindor's place.
Well, but he moves in at the end. This is the Sanctum Sanctorum, but they don't say it because it's got
Oh,
the
no.
logo.
I'm sorry. You're saying it wrong. It's Sanctum Samporn.
Sanctum Sanpornum.
Also,
Porn.
if,
Ooh, much better. You said it right.
if any of our listeners have ever been to New York City, and you have seen a cobblestone road, please write in to badmoviesworstpeople@gmail.com and let us know about this
Yeah,
experience.
that's a valid point. Is there an old cobble road in New York still in 1978?
This
Yeah.
movie, up to this point, has been shot in either like doctor's offices, which is
Times
blank
Square.
rooms, or at least live New York streets.
Yes.
It's shot on location in New York. Normally, I would say that shooting in New York would have been too expensive. But since it's a TV production, Universal and NBC are the same company, so I'm assuming NBC was like, look, let's go in front of fucking 30 Rock here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you guys can shoot it out here.
Yeah, that's because it was 100% just like a shot down, and you could see the X of Times Square.
Yeah.
Well, now this is like
For that
this is-
part.
This is
Yes,
a set.
The three
This is-
times they showed that part.
Well, that's weird. Looks a lot like 1920s America. I guess maybe they were shooting a Bonnie and Clyde movie last week, and we needed to use this set. Like,
What do we have left over for this shoot right now?
that's 100% what this is. I think you were saying it looks like the Universal backlot.
So it's been a
from
while since I've been on the backlot tour, but this does look like the part where they when you're doing the whole backlot tour.
Never done it.
Okay, it's actually not bad, especially as a film nerd's wife.
I know, but I have been to Florida.
No. I'm talking about the Hollywood one.
Yeah,
Oh.
I've never been to Universal
I've never
Florida
been
either.
to I've never been to Florida, and it's a point of pride for me. But anyway, there's a part on the tour where you go to God, I don't remember what movie it's from, but
Jaws?
you see an Italian town. yes, Jaws, Italy, Jaws.
You a little Italian straight in Jaws.
I wish,
when
man, I
the
wish
shark,
I knew the Italian went for Jaws right now because I would have dropped it.
when the shark has to go back to Sicily and he gets married to Apollonia.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then she gets killed in that
You
explosion.
guys didn't see that one?
Because she was driving his Sea-Doo.
Yeah, the Jawfather.
The Jaws father. Oh, wow. Anyway, there's a part of the tour where it shows you how they can easily flood a street, and this looks like the street.
Oh,
So the
okay.
whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, surprise flood coming?
Well, and at Universal Studios, I mean, the gimmick is that it's supposed to be like the Universal Studios this is as an actual old backlot. I don't know if that's true or if like it's a reproduction or if maybe they built it where the old Universal Studios was and they built a new one somewhere.
I think some of this, like being on the ride, some of it looks like actual backlot.
Yeah, I mean, I've
When
been
you
there.
go to
It's
the
been
older-
many moons.
Okay.
I mean, probably near 30 years since I've been there.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I'm not as cool
Mine's
as you
probably
guys.
mine's definitely less than that. It's like 20, but
Yeah.
less than 30.
Fuck, I'm old. I just said something happened 30 years ago.
You're 38.
I
It
know.
was called
but I don't
Nirvana.
remember a lot of things from when I was a kid. Like I don't have a memory for that. Maybe too much marijuana in my 20s.
Maybe you
but
have a,
No such thing in your
You're
20s.
filling your brain with movies and trivia now, so you're pushing out old memories.
That's
Those
fine.
core memories are going the fuck away.
No, she's
Oh,
not
it's like
wrong. I
Inside Out,
opted
but all the little colorful balls are just being replaced with gray, nothing information.
exactly.
I pushed out
Love it.
birthdays, anniversaries. Like, this is why I can't date, man. I'm just like, well, what movie came out the year you were born? What was number one in the box office the year you were born?
What was number one in the box office year you were
3
born?
minutes, a little baby.
Jurassic,
Get out.
Jurassic Park. All right, we're okay. It's close.
We're good.
But we're all
here.
right.
We're good. Wait, no, Jurassic Park. She'd be quite younger than me.
Yeah,
I
still
mean,
like 14
no,
years
yeah.
younger,
That's
13 years
quite younger than me.
It's fine. I mean, you're
okay.
like 80 now, so that's acceptable.
Well, because I aged 2 days faster than every normal
Exactly.
human being. It's not my fault. Get off my lawn. Get off my podcast.
This lady almost kills this guy and then gets
Oh,
sad.
we're still there.
Yeah. She gets sad. She goes home and she has tea, and that's the scene for some reason in this
Well,
movie.
she goes to sleep in her shoes, Derek.
Well, but,
yeah,
but,
she
like
crawls
before
under her
that, there's
fucking bed.
literally a cutaway of
Oh.
her at her house. This is when we see her flat butt, and she's just
Yeah, we
making
do.
tea and watching TV, and she's not even watching the movie that plays again in a minute. I don't think. I
And
think
which
she's
is
watching
that
something
movie?
else.
No, I think she's
Yeah,
she's
it was
watching
on.
something
So it's
else, but
added-
then she wakes up
segued.
to
Yeah,
the same
exactly.
movie, but
So
it's
she's-
something else.
Okay, so it's establishing she has the TV on, but it's like they show her getting tea and stuff, but she doesn't have a flashback or a nightmare or anything.
I
It's
love
just-
that Derek's trying to he's like they established nothing, man. They just let cameras roll and people look beautiful in this movie.
But she crawls into bed, fully clothed, with her fucking shoes on, and gets under the goddamn covers.
Yeah, look, she woke up on the couch, or she was like nodding off or something,
Woke
Yeah.
up from a nightmare.
and she gets up and goes to bed. I get it. Like there have been times where I've woken up on the couch and been like, "Oh God, I don't want to take off all these clothes." Like, but I've never, ever fallen asleep with my shoes on in my bed.
I'm
Nope.
sorry. Is the first thing I do when I get home take my shoes off?
That's the first
Yes.
thing most people
The
do. I
second thing I
assume.
do,
Yeah.
I take my pants off.
You could follow me around like Sherlock Holmes and watch where I melted out of my clothes. Because like as soon as you get in my door, shoes. Right
Yeah.
after that, at least one sock. If I struggled, the second sock's a little further up, and then pants. And then
Yeah.
shirt, and then like right next to my room, underwear. It is a trail of drunken sadness.
It's like a
Also comfort.
It's like a
Yes.
seduction scene from like a 90s movie.
But
where
you're
the
But it's
guy
just
comes in-
myself.
Exactly. The guy comes in and there's like one high heel and then the other high heel.
Nope,
and
it's
then,
just
like,
Jack's
But it's-
clothes.
But it's me looking at a bottle of lotion. When I think about you, I touch myself.
Oh, I don't want.
so she goes to bed with her shoes on, and Doctor Strange is also falling asleep. Which they, by the way, I want to say I could be wrong, but it was like an hour in the movie before they actually said Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
like other people
We
said
heard Stephen
Strange,
Strange.
or they said Steven,
Stephen
or they said
Strange?
Stephen Strange. I was like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
he's a doctor and his name is Strange. Just first
Say it
person,
right off the bat.
the drunk lady with the
Yeah.
teeth. she could be like, "Oh, Doctor Strange.
Oh, my ulcers are acting up, Doctor Strange.
Good to see you, Doctor Strange." I don't know why she's from the Old West, but it's
Because she has to. Because
This lady was-
have you drank in a while? She's like, I haven't even touched it. Really? Well, I have to have a taste every now and then.
I mean, I just need it so I don't shake.
Don't we all, lady?
Seriously.
So they're sleeping. They're falling asleep. They never met each other, and they're both watching Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein's monster, or meet Frankenstein, I believe, maybe is the name of the movie. So they keep having the dream of the accident or the attempted murder over and over, and it's in slow motion. And it's what we see.
This guy getting
This
pushed
guy,
over.
yeah, fucking Linderman falling back, just like, whoa, oh no. And then the worst decision made in this entire film, which is saying something, is showing his stunt double falling in slow motion off the bridge, because you can see that this dude is no older than maybe 30.
Yeah.
Just
Also,
wearing a
his
gray
wig is not even. It's not even close to what dude's hair looks like.
No, it's very obvious.
He just wore a white wig.
I did just think about this. We are watching a Blu-ray copy, high definition Blu-ray from Shout Factory, thanks to our friend Vern.
Ooh,
Thank
shout out
you,
to
Vern.
Big
Yes.
Vern.
Because
Love you,
this
babes.
is not available streaming anywhere.
No.
You can get it on a shitty DVD, or if you're lucky, you can find this Shout Factory.
We would have spent money on this if it wasn't
I
for Vern.
kept-
So,
I-
Vern, I'll buy
yeah.
you a beer.
I kept looking for this movie, and I was like, I don't want to buy it.
Nope.
Pay
You
like
didn't wanna
$25
spend-
for a DVD.
Oh, I thought it was like $80 for a
no,
Blu-ray.
but it was still like $25 for a DVD. I was
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
meh. I didn't even know it was on Blu-ray till Vern
So
told me.
because this is on Blu-ray and it wasn't,
I think it
initially
was
intended
making
for
it
that-
easier to see the shitty stuntman, because we're talking about television broadcast.
Well, we noticed at one point, your wife and I being us, a fake baby being diapered up, and it's like, man, did that pass?
Yeah.
Did that pass as real, or
But
is this
then-
an insane person because it is a psychiatric
I think
ward?
that I honestly think that was them like saying, "Hey, this is a psychiatric ward.
Okay.
This woman
that's the
thinks
one detail they gave us.
this woman thinks this thing is alive.
Again, we're doing work.
We are.
We're
We're
doing
doing
work
more
we
than
shouldn't
it's
have to fucking do.
necessary.
So Clea has the dream of over and over, and so does Doctor Strange. And she wakes up thinking that like Morgan Le Fay is in her apartment or whatever. She sees crazy witch lady standing there, and so she goes running, and she runs into her elevator. Good thing she kept her shoes on.
Oh yeah, ready for it. Ready for a
She
spring.
runs into the elevator and hits every floor.
Every fucking button.
And I was like, oh, it's because they're going to do a thing where it stops. Because it stops, the elevator door opens. Jessica Walters is standing there staring at her. The elevator door closes. It goes down again. I was like, oh, they're going to do that like 3 more times. Maybe she's going to get closer or something. Nope. Even
That
though there
would've
were
been
at
fun.
least 3 floors in this building, 4 floors in this building, she does all the floors and gets out after 2. And is on the
Which
ground
is street
floor.
level.
I
Yeah,
guess the
apparently.
rest of the floors are underneath. They just
Yeah.
weren't marked as B1, B2. Like
Sure.
ground.
just had to
they
know
call
that.
the ground floor down where Dormammu was hanging out.
Because
I came to barter.
in the ground.
So she almost gets hit by a taxi, and the guy's just like, you probably shouldn't be out here alone, young woman in 1970s New York.
Nobody should be out here alone.
And he takes her to the hospital, which I was like, so she just like, I need a cab ride.
Yeah.
But I think he put her in so he could take her to the hospital.
And it swear to God, it looked like he sat on her lap.
It looked like he was about to. Like if he sat her on the driver's seat and was like, and here we go. I'm just going to sit on your lap. Help me reach the pedals, little girl.
It's how I keep you in the car so you can't get away.
I want to make sure you can't run. So I'm just going to sit in your lap for a little restraint. Don't make it weird. I just want to sit in your lap.
We'll talk about if anything pops up.
Oh, if something pops up when he's on her lap, that's
Yeah,
weird.
I'm
exactly.
just an overweight Italian man sitting in your lap. I don't know what the problem is. So she takes her to the hospital, and we get this like beautiful mustache from this guy Martin, credited as intern. He had a name like Josh Harris or something.
Beautiful mustache
Yeah, this,
slash mutton chops.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yes, he's a black guy from 1970s.
Well
he had a nice
manicured
like
fro.
tight fro.
Oh,
he had the
beautiful.
chops. He had a huge stash. And then in walks fucking Doctor Strange with his fucking
Pedo
curly ass
stash.
white
I'm
people
going to tell
fro.
you right now, if I walked in, if I'm Doctor Strange and I walk in with this guy, I'm going to like, hold on 1 second. I'm going to go shave my mustache. I'm going to walk back in like, all right, what were you saying?
Shave his head too.
Because I did, well,
The hair was put to shame too.
Yeah. but the mustache was much more shameful.
Oh, yeah, no, Doctor Strange looked like he had a pretty big stash until he was
Until
sitting
this
next to this
guy.
guy, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, is this John Waters?
Oh, that's what mustaches are supposed to look like.
All of a sudden Doctor Strange is played by John Waters. I don't know
Dr.
what's
Vincent
happening.
Price, can you... yeah.
So the guy calls Doctor Strange down because the girl doesn't know who she is. She's a Jane Doe. She has memory loss or whatever.
Very unresponsive.
He just starts like massaging her scalp.
I don't feel any trauma.
Doesn't
yet.
feel like your brain is bleeding.
And I'm like, man, if this chick is as shell shocked as she is, stop being so abrasive with your touching.
Yeah.
But
There's
also-
a way to check, man. Calm down.
The porn music is definitely happening at this point.
Oh,
so we're
it's-
just seeing this is foreplay.
Yeah.
That gets cut off early.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and I it may have been mentioned while we were recording. I don't remember. I think you said something about like we had theorized while watching this that the director, Peter Laguerre or whatever, Philip Laguerre.
Oh, no, she said
Daguerre, may have been making a porn, but like Universal ended up funding it, so like they cut the scenes out or something,
And he kept
he
that
just
shit.
filmed all that extra footage for himself. Because this movie, the music, the acting,
The
lighting,
music.
everything is very, very pornographic.
Doctor Strange, starring John Holmes.
Dr. Jeremy.
Oh no. I guess both the people we just said are really bad people in real life. Isn't Ron Jeremy in jail for like rape and whatnot?
Something
Presumably.
like that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you say that and I go,
Yeah, checks out. I haven't read anything, but yeah.
Look, the only thing I've ever seen Ron Jeremy in that I enjoyed was
Orgasmo.
Orgasmo.
Hey, pickle dick.
Stuncock.
Stoncock.
That will probably be an episode.
Just for funsies.
I love it,
I love it too.
but it like most of the things that Trey Parker and Matt Stone have created over the years is trash, but like in the best way. Like it's the
Jesus
movies,
and I love
I mean,
you.
when we're talking about like their movies and their like any cinematic thing like with the puppets and anything with people and it's all really cheap, really whatever. But like in a good way because I love all of them.
They're geniuses.
Wong knows that she's at the Clea is at this East Side Hospital, which is a great name for a hospital, very creative.
Yeah, East Side.
And so he sends Dr. fucking Lattimore, I don't give a shit, the other guy, Old Man River, down there, and so right before he arrives, we see Clea standing in the medication line, the classic, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest thing, which she has Nurse Ratched here giving out these pills.
Little
Mind you,
ramekin.
this woman is terrible.
This woman hates her
Oh,
patients.
she's so mean.
But she's been here for 20 years.
It shows.
And she definitely knows how to medicate her patients.
Oh God, yeah. She's trying to give this lady meds, and she's like, will they make me?" So we didn't mention. She says she never wants to sleep again because if she falls asleep, the
She'll
lady
die.
comes in her
She'll
dreams.
die, and she feels like and she's right.
Yeah. Well, it turns out as soon as she falls asleep, she disappears into the insidious realm here.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
But like she's like, I
The
don't want to
upside
sleep. I don't want to sleep, and they're like, you have to sleep, and he's like, I didn't prescribe any medication.
I thought you'd sign off
Yeah,
on it though.
I thought you would. Well, I didn't. So,
And what-
You overstepped. I've seen Scrubs before.
yeah, that's not how nursing works.
You're not in charge, Carla.
Exactly. In what world do nurses overrule doctors?
No world.
No world,
apparently in the original MCU.
apparently.
That's the prime timeline. The prime line.
So
Prime
667.
time line. That's why it was a TV movie. It was on the prime time line.
Prime time.
What's
line.
what's primary universe? 235?
616.
616. I knew it was a 6. I said 661.
But yeah, so the guy, whatever fucking old man, is leaving the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Old
It's
man
never
works,
named.
by the way.
This place is never named. It is the Sanctum Sanctorum.
We know
Apparently that
that.
was a little too magical for 1970s TV. But when he's leaving, he like locks the door by like putting his hand up to it and then power surging in parentheses.
He power surges the security system up. She set the lock. I didn't know.
Fucking Jessica Walters is sitting there and there's like a street cat and she like possesses it and there's this intense music and she sends it over to the house to see what kind of wards are on there. This cat gets close and it just gets electrocuted to shit
Fried.
and like runs away and she's like, and it was just this like 3-minute long scene of just like boom boom dum dum.
This
dum,
is
dum,
this
dum,
is
dum,
a
dum.
symptom of the movie, though.
It is.
Intense fucking music with barely anything happening.
But they did have the outlines of the cat still when it runs
when it got
away,
shocked.
and the outline is still there. And I was like,
I like that. I'm fine with this. Jessica Walters knows I can't break into this house.
A cat can't do it?
He
Shit.
put an anti-pussy spell
Well,
on this house.
cats are basically witches.
They're familiars. It's called a familiar.
until
not
later.
wrong.
Until later, Jessica Walters is a cat.
Only black cats are evil.
I love black cats.
I love my black cat.
Hi,
I was gonna say, don't
She's
you have
evil.
one? You got a black cat and a fucking albino man living in the same house. No, you're just ginger. You're not.
You know what that's
albino.
called? Yin and yang, buddy.
You're
It's
just ginger,
yin
not
and yang.
albino.
I'm quite...
It is yin.
There's no G on the first one.
No G's allowed. Yin and yang. I'm very white. She's very dark. It's like an odd couple.
Whatever Lattimore, whatever the guy's name is,
Old
shows
man.
up.
You were gonna do something different every time.
It doesn't matter. It's something with an L.
It's old man.
Yeah.
Old man L.
Old
And
man.
the C.
Old man.
So this old man, he said 3. He played knick-knack on his knee or something. He shows up and at the hospital and he's trying to get information and they're like, yeah, we can't tell you that. It's fucking illegal.
No,
And
I
he just-
have information for you.
Oh, but he's like, yeah, he does a Jedi mind trick on every person he talks to. He literally fucking Alec Guinness waves his hand very
This
subtly.
is a psycho what I'm looking for.
This is the woman I'm looking for. You will let me in. I don't know why I'm doing the movement as if
Because
anybody
you
can
can't
see
say it
me.
without doing it. It's impossible to speak Jedi mind trick without waving your hand, as I just did.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. So Lindmer talks his way into meeting Strange. I got it right this time, guys. 'cause It's in my notes.
I wouldn't have known.
He talks his way in by fucking Jedi mind tricking some random nurse, and then Jedi mind tricking Nurse Ratchet. And then he's in there talking to Doctor Strange, and like the head doctor guy,
Have I met you before?
whatever the head doctor's guy's name is, he
You
comes
said
in.
it
Dr.
earlier.
Taylor.
Taylor. He comes in and he's like, "I gotta talk to you right now, Strange."
In a
and then he's like,
minute.
In a couple
"I'll
minutes.
talk to him in a minute. I'll talk to him." And he walks out, and the guy's like, Doctor Strange is like, "Oh shit, you made that guy shut the fuck up. Maybe I should listen to you."
Thank you. We've been trying.
So Strange is like, I know you from somewhere, and this guy has already alluded to that he knows Doctor Strange. They
He
have
talked
the
about
ring.
a psychic bond between Strange and old Clear Lake.
Yeah, this is what he's telling her. Yeah. Well, I mean, it literally is without the
That's
R.
what they're doing.
It's
Like,
Clear Lake.
well, I didn't notice until the British guy's like, "Oh, Clear Lake." I was like, "Oh, that's a Clear Lake." He doesn't sound like that, mind you.
Clear Lake. Oh,
We gotta go save this damsel in distress. Oh, Clear Lake.
oh, she's
easy.
out to apples and bulbs over there.
Is this fucking Lock, Stock, and Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Doctor
Yes,
Snatch.
please.
Doctor Snatch is what I was just about to say.
Can I watch? That's what they were
That's
filming.
what they were filming.
That's the
Fucking
taken away.
pockies.
Dr. Snatches, the taken away films.
I got a cat over there for a big fucking orgy. If I can't do an orgy, we can't get any fucking money for that, sir. Hand me a shooter.
Just be careful when down the line, like Vinegar Syndrome, where someone puts out a thing and it says Doctor Strange, the uncut director's version, and you're like, "Oh,
Look
cool!
out.
I've seen that movie." You haven't.
I can watch that with my kids. You can't. You shan't.
Wow, all of them are having sex with her at the same time.
Is that a double-sided dildo? That's ass to ass. That's
Is
ass
that
to ass.
Power
We're watching
Rangers
it. Yeah,
villain
okay.
fucking Jessica Walters?
Oh, we get some Power Rangers in this
We
too.
do get some Power Rangers
Yeah,
on this
some
thing.
pre-Power
I did wake
Rangers.
up for that.
All right.
So basically,
God, you are such your husband's wife.
this is usually me when she's telling me what happened in a show, and I'm like, "Yeah, I slept on that part."
I don't know. Just I was warm, even though it was cold in here, and then
No, I think it's what it is. It was cold and comfortable.
I was cold and comfortable in my little blanket, and I had my 2 friends next to me.
You got spit roasted with friendship.
I did. And then I had a very boring movie on the TV, and I was just
Dude,
like,
the things I do like about this movie, it was boring and slow,
Oh,
which is why we are
God.
so fucking
Yes.
tangent tonight. Is
Yeah.
because it's like, what do we talk about? You want to talk about the mud house?
Yeah, it's gonna be all over the place. Yeah, he lives in a weird mud house that may have been a set
Changes-
from Star Trek: The Original Series. May have just been some hut they found in New Mexico.
It does not look like it belongs anywhere in New York City at
No.
all.
Also-
Bleecker Street? No.
the cobblestone street.
Sorry,
Well-
Bleecker Court.
But Bleecker Street's a real street.
Yeah, and Bleecker Street is where fucking Doctor Strange lives.
Yeah.
but this is in Bleecker Court.
But yes, it's so out of place in not only Doctor Strange, this universe, like not only New York, but the Doctor Strange universe, it's out of place
Yeah.
altogether. It doesn't look like anything. It looks almost like fucking leftover Tatooine.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. It gives that weird feel, and then it's a different style in every room. Like one
Different
room,
color.
one room is mud, one room is wood. What? Like you're in a tree?
I think we had some Native American adobe.
Yes.
This is like in the same universe as The Hobbit because there is the One Ring, and there are Hobbit holes.
Yes, he lives in a Hobbit hole.
There's
That's
also
exactly
that
what it
glory
is.
hole.
I can't sorcerer you.
Yes, this
but I
Hobbit
can
hole-
carry you.
This Hobbit hole has a glory hole in the middle of it that
With
has
a
a
dragon.
wrapped around
Everybody
it.
does a slow-mo stop at this thing like, hello.
Yeah, like, this is
Exactly.
for putting your dragon in.
Also, every now and then, you said it at one point, Hooten, is that his name? He every now and then sounds like George Takei.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, not that part. But
Oh.
when he's like,
Oh yeah, decay.
he just does like, oh my, oh
Yeah.
my, oh my.
Oh,
And we thought maybe he was hiding an accent.
I've come to bargain.
Oh man, I'd watch just fucking.
I would
Doctor
watch
Strange
that
with
all
George Takei.
day, dude.
I love Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Give me George Takei. Worst movie. More entertaining.
Yeah, I would rather. You know what? I will crowdfund George Takei doing a Doctor Strange, like shot for shot remake of this. Also, let's have him replace Val Kilmer as Mad Mortigan.
oh
The
my.
greatest swordsman that ever lived.
All right. Hashtag George Takei for every movie.
Yep.
Yes.
So he basically, Doctor Strange tells Doctor Whoever, the old man, he tells him that he doesn't believe in evil and that all this stuff is hooey or whatever. And so he shakes his hand to leave, and he gives him this like American Psycho business card. When they shake hands, though, their hands like light up and the
Yeah.
power surges again. And
They,
that
like,
is when,
come.
dude, they're both just like,
Dude.
and then the porno music kicks in hard. Like they shake hands and it
And we
literally
get a tight
goes
shot
into
of Doctor Strange's eyes, which are gorgeous, by the
Yes.
way. fake Cole Hauser's eyes
Yes.
with
Faux
this
Hauser?
porn music, Faux Hauser, and this porn music. I'm having a good time.
I
Yeah,
was like,
but
let
it
me
goes
see that
hard,
scene.
like
When he woke up, she's like, what's happening? Is this sexy time? I think so.
Yeah,
I
I heard
think I
either
did wake up.
saxophone. I heard either saxophone or like exaggerated waka chicka bass kind of stuff, and I am assuming there's fucking.
What is that? Heavy synth and an eye focus? I love it.
I'm here for it.
So this is where we find out Clea got drugged. Like Taylor gave her drugs even though she didn't want them, and
He's
like,
he just
it's
wants
not
to
a
stir
sedative;
her,
it's
yeah.
just a tranquilizer.
It's only Thorazine. What the fuck?
and she
man?
I didn't drug her.
immediately-
I gave her heroin, you idiot.
Right? Like, it's not. It's.
She immediately falls into a quote hypotensive coma.
Okay. I'm not a medical guy.
Yeah, I don't
Never
know.
heard of that.
Hypotensive sounds like she would be awake. I don't know.
I've had
'cause-
hypotension.
Hippo.
Yeah, my doctor told me I had hypotension.
You need to lose a couple pounds. Why? You got hypotension.
Why'd you
You-
sound
why
like
do
Forrest
You have the
Gump?
heartbeat of
Why do your feet always? Why do my feet always hurt? You've got hypotension.
your hypotension.
You know
Just
how they
live in
have
water.
4 legs?
Do you spend a lot of time underwater? You might have hypotension.
So yeah, she's in a coma because they drugged her, and what we find out is basically she went to the Insidious universe where it's like she's astral planing and like monsters can get you, which is a cool movie by the way. The first Insidious, at least I've not seen anything past it.
I've
but
never seen him.
I
Is Cole
hate,
Hauser in Insidious?
no,
No.
but it's
Should be.
the guy that plays Owlman from Watchmen, Patrick.
Oh, the
Something.
poor man's Cole Hauser.
Not Bateman.
I mean, kind of, I guess. He was also in that Hard Candy movie where Juno drugged him and like tortured him
Oh,
because he
that
was a
guy.
pedophile.
Yes.
Patrick Wilson? That sounds right.
Patrick Wilson is it. That is
Yes.
100%
Dude,
it.
I loved Hard Candy.
I haven't watched it as an adult. I loved it when it came out, but I was also like 19, maybe.
I was like 23.
maybe
then.
a rewatch time.
Maybe. I feel like I like enjoying it. It's a
I get you. It's like, stop there.
Juno, I can't think of the actor's name.
They are now Elliot
Elliot
Page.
Page, yes. So at the time, Ellen Page was she was
They-
Elliot Page. This person was playing a young girl who basically to catch a predator to some guy,
Okay.
and then when he got there, tied him up and tortured him.
Oh,
made him
yeah.
think she cut his dick off.
Fucking like no, she castrated him. She
No. It was full on. Yeah, it was everything. She numbed him out and made him think she cut it all
put
off.
rubber bands on it.
And
All
like
right.
it's. I mean, he deserves it.
Okay. So
Yeah,
worth
he's
a
a
watch.
pederast.
Me never seen it at this age. It's worth a watch. You think?
Maybe
Maybe.
it was
I
very
was-
enjoyable when
I'm
I
gonna
watched.
say
it.
I
I'll tell
was-
you if it's worth you rewatching.
So I'm just saying, I was an adult, and I was like, This isn't terrible.
How did
I liked
we
it.
get onto that? Somebody looked like it doesn't matter. So somebody looked like somebody.
Patrick
and it led us
Wilson
on a
and
whole
Cole
other thing.
Hauser.
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Your editing job's gonna suck.
She's
Yeah.
she's in a coma.
Yeah, so she's in a coma. Doctor Strange goes to Bleecker Court to meet
the
with
fuck up.
to meet with Pappy O'Hausen and whatever. I don't fucking know, man.
Oh,
And-
Dr. Pappy Ludacris.
Dude, I can sum this up in 10 seconds.
So they meet. and
We'll ask for that.
He finds out he got his ring from. Oh, Morgan tries to kill him with a bus. By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, gets a tingly
he
feeling?
blocks it with his
Spidey
hand by
sense.
having the ring on it. Well, I didn't know that until right when we started recording.
Like your asleep wife saw more of this movie than we did sometimes.
Lozenge finds out that Strange got the ring from his dad. His dad left it to him in his will. His parents died in a car accident that he was supposed to be there, but he wasn't.
Changed his mind the last fucking minute.
Because they were protecting him because he's born special because of the midichlorians. Something
Yeah,
about
no, he
being
had a
a
high
really good.
midichlorian
Yeah,
count
he's
for
like a really
sure.
good pod racer.
His M count.
Okay.
Spinning, that's a good trick.
He's gonna be one of the best pilots in the galaxy
Okay.
based on this movie.
He's also going to have some real heartbreak coming up.
Also,
Oh.
oh, he's gonna take a hard turn later.
Oh, yeah.
But Lozenge here tells him, "You're an unusual man," and my first thought was, "Who the fuck are you to tell anyone they're unusual?"
Have you seen the mud house you live in, you old fuck?
You
You
live-
have an Asian dude living with you calling you master.
At his own free will.
You live in Yoda's house with a slave, and you call other people strange.
Oh, man.
So basically, he reveals.
I mean, that was his surname.
He reveals that he's a sorcerer, and Clea is lost in the upper astral plane or something. The lower astral plane is just where we dream, and it's harmless. The upper astral plane, there's monsters.
That's where you
that
do
can
butt
get you.
stuff. Oh, no, never mind. I'm sorry.
And then he
Different
tells
plane.
him, my first thought, I had an immediate flashback to Evil Dead here, or no, Army of Darkness, sorry. When the guy, Lozenge or whatever, is like, if you're in this realm and something attacks you, just say the magic words and they'll go away. And my
rail.
first thought was Klatu, verata, niktu. And I was like, oh, he's going to get it wrong.
And
But-
because he does say, he's like, you have to say it word for word perfect.
yeah, and I thought it was going to
Yeah.
be some crazy fake Latin, like whatever thing like that is, right?
Yeah.
But no, it's...
Or I was expecting him to actually not say it perfect, but
Yeah.
get to this part where we have the guy
Can we
that
just
plays.
do a full Army of Darkness scene where he says it wrong and it bites him? Yeah. The monster bites his fingers.
That's what I was waiting for. But we get the guy that plays Lurch in Addams Family, who you don't actually see the actor because
Just his penis head.
full suited penis head. No, you see this writer come up and yada yada, and then
Balzaroth.
Balzaroth. Thank you. I didn't pay attention.
I'm pretty sure the
enough.
subtitle's the only way we found that out.
Yep. Yeah, probably.
I think maybe Jessica Walters said it once, but
She probably when she summons him.
Yeah,
Oh, you know
this
what?
is the
And
first-
the nameless one does say Balzaroth, go back to your realm.
oh, okay.
But it doesn't matter. It's just that he rides up and very bad fight scene, I guess we want to call
Not
it. We call
even
it
a fight scene.
But I think they wanted us to see it as a fight scene.
Yeah.
We see
it's a confrontation.
we see
Yeah.
Strange
In
doing his like,
hard
oh,
quotes.
don't touch me kind of thing. And then the other side that he's looking at is just red and black lights.
yeah. Well, real quick, I just say this: how they got to him fighting Balzaroth here is. This is where you were falling asleep for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, the
'Cause
spinning.
Yeah.
He goes into this like he's like, when does this start? And he's like, now. It's very much like the new movie where she's like,
Acid
boom,
trip.
and touches him, and he like goes through all those dimensions. Except for it doesn't look at all anything good. It looks like
It
a
takes too
reject
long.
from like a Beatles movie where it's like there's like some spiral colors and like Doctor Strange is floating on. They just got him on some wires and he's acting like he's swimming or something.
I woke up to you saying, "Oh, we're floating now."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I
was
was
like,
like, you're
what?
sleeping through the only exciting thing that's happened in this movie so far. 'Cause
The
it's
problem
special
is though,
effects.
this should be like a 2-minute scene. They're like, make it 12 minutes.
Yeah,
of him
no, he's-
spinning and
It
going
was
through this color. It
forever.
was way
Yeah.
too much. Way too much.
And that's how he gets into this alternate dimension, which is where he meets Balzaroth.
Yeah.
And
that's where he gets balls racked.
and this is the first of two villains who looks like a Power Rangers
Yes.
foil. He's a guy on a horse, or yes, he's on a horse, and he's got this big crazy costume. Although it is Lurch, so he's a very tall man, so maybe
Yeah.
it's not all. It's a costume.
But a
Maybe it's not a
giant
big
horse.
crazy costume. It's just a costume. Well, it looked kind of like a small horse under this guy, so it was probably a normal size
It was
horse.
a normal sized horse, and he's lurched.
It looked like Balzaroth was riding a pony, but it was just Lurch riding.
Sebastian!
It was Lurch riding a Clydesdale. But yeah, so they get there and they go through the whole conversation or confrontation. It's mostly a conversation.
Well, he gets rid of him with a conversation. So you're not wrong there.
In the name of Azrael or something, I banish you.
Rael, A-R-A-E-L.
Yes, yeah.
Subtitles, God bless you.
And
Rael.
the nameless
Rael.
one gets all pissed and he's like, why didn't you? Or no, first it's Jessica Walters is like, why didn't you bring him? And he's like, I couldn't. He spoke the word of power.
He said the magic word.
It's so convenient that demons are so like tied to rules, even though they spend their entire life trying to make people break rules.
You know what? I respect it because demons respect safe words. This dude screams pineapple, and the demon's like, cool, bro.
In the name of pineapple.
How did you know pineapple was my safe word?
I just guessed.
I literally said it last night. I was
Okay.
like, safe word is
That's not what
pineapple.
she meant.
Okay, all right. Like, we're getting deep here, guys.
No, I said this. I said our safe word is pineapple, and he's
I was
there
at
are
work
no
until
safe
5
words.
o'clock in the morning.
My
so.
safe word is keep going. Just trips him up every time.
So Jessica Walters is all mad at Bowles Rock or whatever.
His balls rock.
Jingle Bells Rock. And the nameless one shows up in the exact same position he's been in this entire movie and starts yelling at her. And she's like, no, he fucked up. And he's like, no, you have toyed with me. Why did you not kill her?
Why are you
Or
still
him?
lying to
Him,
me?
you had chances.
Yeah. And she is just like, well, I wanted to fuck him, so I didn't want to kill him. Well, and then he's like, look at your reflection. And it's her as like a person with cotton balls on their head.
This might be just I'd be for worst wig.
Dude, yeah, I literally looked like she just like put her head in a bag of cotton
I
balls.
thought it was just a completely different person.
Well, I thought the reflection was like they
Maybe.
just did blurry face and cotton ball hair, but then when they actually have her kind of turn to that, I was like, it could be another person, but the person is also lit, like
If you
inner
went to a
lit kind of
spirit
thing.
store for Halloween, it was like, I need generic old person.
I
this
need-
is what you
Yeah,
get.
this
I
is
need
what you
hag.
get.
Do you have a hag,
Hag.
costume?
I'm looking for hag.
Yeah.
God
but
hates hags.
so he shows her her old self, and she's like, he's like, I'll take away your beauty if you don't do what I say.
beauty.
And so they have this whole conversation, which I'm only going to bring up. Doctor Strange and Clea have this whole conversation. I bring it up because it comes up again. It's about like, oh, I shouldn't see my patients, and what if I'm not your patient anymore, and I can help you with my homework, and it's professional. And
Gotcha.
Let's meet at 7. And they have this exact same conversation, word for word, 10 minutes after the movie should have ended.
So is this like Strange's stretch mark for?
Just stretch mark.
Stretch mark's not a weapon. You gotta,
I was
I
like
beg to
Strange's
differ.
sorcery, Strange's spell,
yeah. You could have gone with anything.
Dormammu's dildo.
Oh,
I like that one. The nameless one's nunchucks.
So yeah, he sets up a date with Clea. Sorry, I just gotta get through these points. We can joke all we want, but
Yeah.
we
There is a movie here.
we get to the part where things happen eventually.
Yes.
they
I think we
really,
have
though?
40 minutes left in this movie, and it's like, all right. That's where the astral plane things happen.
Yeah.
It has been a slog. I don't blame you for falling asleep in the first hour of this.
Maybe 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. The
movie is
real
an hour and a
magic
half
is
long.
not until the third act, and these acts are almost solidly split into 30-minute segments.
Yeah.
But the third act is 18 minutes of third act and 12 minutes of wrap up, which is insane. It's like as many endings as fucking Return of the
It's
King.
directed by a madman.
and the wrap up is just like a second cut from the scene that you're talking about right now.
It's this scene we just watched happening again. But then they also watch TVs on the street. And like, I'd do that for $1 or whatever. I'd buy
like-
that
I'd
for
buy
$1.
that for $1.
But so anyway, they decide they're going to go on a date, and he goes to Dr. or fucking whatever, the old man.
Lindor.
And he's like, hey, I don't believe in magic. I refuse to believe in magic, even though I went to another realm. And I'm not going to call any man master ever,
Yeah.
except for in 20 minutes.
Oh, it might be less, but yeah.
And
As
as he's
stance
leaving,
on calling you master, asshole.
as he's leaving the house, he like a cat comes up to the door. This black cat comes up to the door, and he's like, "Oh, cat, you live here?
Do you
Put
live
you
here?"
inside. Shut the door. Doesn't ask anybody. Do you guys have a cat?
Dude, if somebody put a cat in my house, I would fucking throat punch them.
As a cat owner, don't put a cat in my house.
It's just,
I have one.
He's like, it's raining outside. You want to come inside, kitty? It's not my house. I don't give a shit. This house is so massive, they won't notice anyway.
Street cats are evil. They'll do anything they can to get inside and get a cold meal
Street cat.
or a room
Eat
temperature
that.
meal.
I don't buy that.
If only they'd put me inside.
So when he leaves and the cat's in there, and like immediately Wong finds the cat and is like, "That's weird. There's a cat in here," and just staring at it. And it's just this back and forth between him looking at the cat and the cat looking at the camera.
You shouldn't be in here.
But
And
then the
it
cat
turns
grows.
to the greatest special effect I have ever seen. Of like, it's like this cat is in the kind of in the shadows, but you can tell it's a cat. And then it cuts to just like a weird cat mask on a person dressed in a black costume, like the people who go on stage during plays and move stuff around.
This is almost like Japanese kabuki theater where they dress in the black for their background
exactly
stuff.
the same thing. That's exactly what I'm talking about. We have the people
Yeah.
in black leotards who like move sets so you can't see them, quote unquote, but you can.
Yeah.
It
No,
looks
you
like
went
that.
stage nerd, and I was like, well, fuck, how can I go even more nerdy?
Kabuki theater.
Japanese kabuki theater.
Yeah, this person in this costume starts standing up with this cat, fucking 1970s Halloween cat mask on, and he just starts standing up, and you're just like, so I'm assuming I'm supposed to think that the cat is growing.
The cat's growing.
This
Here we
may
are.
be a Blu-ray thing again. 1978 television broadcast. It may have been much more convincing.
Also, it's the 70s, so that was dope.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't great, but
We're
it probably
little
wasn't
spoiled.
as bad as we're looking
are
at. But
spoiled.
it's funny.
Yeah,
It's
it
very
definitely was
funny.
funny.
It's one of the highlights of the movie to me.
I didn't have a bad time.
A man in black leotard standing up is the highlight of this movie for
Man,
me.
if Derek only knew the way that I play with my cat was in full black leotards.
Paper balls.
No, I have my own, thank you.
The cat turns into Morgan, and he's like, "How'd you get in here? We didn't say you were invited," because like she's a vampire. And she's like,
that's
"No."
Stephen Strange years carried me right across your borders.
Yeah, brought me right in. So
He's so powerful. Protect me against your words.
I like his aura.
and this is where we get the last dragon / the force lightning effects, whatever, where they're like blasting each other. And she's all like red and orange, and he's all blue or whatever, and they're like zip zapping back and forth. And Wong gets blasted against the wall, and a big oval around him catches on fire.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's nowhere near him.
She does him dirty, man. She does him Wong. Well, because Dr. fucking Lindemans put some protective aura
Not a doctor.
over his favorite, not a doctor, over his favorite manservant.
And she has to summon Asmodeus, the Prince of Hell, Scourge of the Power Rangers, to carry this dude to hell.
And it happened.
And it's ridiculous. It is the most Power Rangers costumes. This guy shows up. He's in two
He's
shots.
a beetle monster.
There's one shot of him, and then there's a shadow, like a silhouette. And yeah, he looks like a man with beetle scoopy claw things.
Yep, that's what they're called.
That's what an entomologist would call
I
them.
recently talked to my biologist friend, and he said the Scoopy claws. Every beetle has Scoopy claws.
And so Doctor Strange goes to pick up this girl for this date.
Also, Scoopy claws is what I call the law where I'm allowed to pick up on you. You can't hit on me. Well, check back on the Scoopy claws. Anyway.
So it's like the Santa Claus. So he goes to pick her up for a date or whatever. First of all, he said, we'll go on a date at 7. And she said, I'll be ready at 7. You're like, no, you be ready before I get there,
I'll
please.
be there at 7.
Yes, I will
Please
be there at
ready
7.
Earlier than 7.
You don't. This is the 70s. It's not like everybody's got like, there's no cable television or anything. What am I gonna do? Sit in your fucking living room and watch the news?
But he comes in thirsty though, right? Because
When she answered the door, first of all, I thought she was in like a slip.
this dress is close to a slip.
Yeah,
It's
the front you
gorgeous,
can tell it's a
though.
dress.
She's wearing the shit out of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
from the
she
front you
is.
can tell it's a dress, but when she answers the door, it's all from the back. I was 100% like, she's like, "Oh, come on in. I'm just in my underwear," which
Yeah.
great start to a date. But
Best date ever.
The first question is like, "Do you want anything?" And he's like, "I'd love a hot bath."
Hot bath. He's trying to
Bro.
get in there.
yeah.
He's not even in the door yet. He is still outside.
I guess is this
Calm
them
down,
trying to
fella.
show like because in
The
just a
beginning
couple
of the-
minutes
yeah.
he's gonna say something. So like Lindore's gonna be like, oh yeah, you need to give up sex. By the way,
Well, he says
No,
you
no,
can't
no,
have
he doesn't give
offspring.
sex.
yeah, I think that's saying
You have
because
you have to
made for
get
television.
the correct stone to cast the condom spell. You get the infertility stone. I've been looking for the infertility gauntlet, but luckily I've been. She tells him to go get a cold beer, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and she's like, "Yeah, they're in the fridge." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit."
Where else would they be? Where else? Where do you keep your cold
in
beers?
my
Microwave?
vagina.
Got a microwave full of cold beer.
Cold beers are in the cooler. Where's the cooler? In the oven.
You're doing it wrong.
So he's in there trying to look for a beer, and she sees Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, you're doing it comic book style, buddy.
And she's like, "Oh, and like
It is
falls
not a
off.
good scream.
The weird, like, orgasm noises is what she is making. She's like,
Not good orgasm.
No, yeah, bad fake orgasm noises.
You're doing more. Hers is like, oh.
Like her is worse than that dude's oh no earlier in the movie, and that guy was a one scene extra. She's a star of
You
the
are
film.
third build in this movie, mayhaps. Probably fourth.
Who knows? I didn't look.
I didn't either, but she's probably above. You know what? She's probably third.
I didn't look at all.
It's probably Doctor Strange, and then it's probably Jessica Walters, and then Clear Lakes.
You know what? She might be fourth because I guarantee you I can't think of his name right now. I did right now. John Mills, Dr. Lindemann or whatever.
Oh, you
He's
think
not,
Not
a
a
doctor. No touching.
no touching?
This guy is a storied actor, so he probably got higher billed just because.
He has a penis and she has a vagina.
She's not getting much more work.
That's
based
fair.
On this.
You know what? He has a penis and she has a vagina, so he
Facts.
might be even billed above Jessica Walters
For just that fact.
because it's 1978.
Yeah.
So happens. Mine
Walla
was
Walla
a
Bing
little
Bang?
better than hers. And Morgan, like she comes now and gets Doctor Strange and like grabs him, and there's a pretty good actually like teleportation kind of effect, not like the fading, but like where people disappear.
Right, because it's not a paused scene.
Yeah, I'm used to seeing like you get that jump like we've been doing like Quantum Leap, but even with the fading light effect, you still get that like. We cut to another piece of film and the frame was slightly different. So it's like, pop, and it like jumps. You don't even get that. The camera is zooming in and moving at the time and they just disappear and it's pretty smooth. I was impressed.
No,
They did
solid
a great
teleport.
job.
That's the biggest thing I was impressed by in this movie is that shot.
Like,
And
oh,
she
man,
takes
something
him-
to hang my hat on. All right.
She takes him to this 60 Minutes Barbara Walters dimension where everything is softly lit and like slightly out of focus.
Oh, and
Whatever
she is.
planet is behind him is just a simple cardboard cutout
Yep.
of faux Earth.
You
Because
get
the
this-
continents aren't right. And I'm just gonna say this: I'm fine with it. Just move it back. Why is it so close and zoomed in when it looks so
Yeah.
shitty?
This is fucking Rita Repulsa's lair on the moon and Power Rangers.
Yeah, this is a precursor to Thanos'
you know
little
what?
realm.
That's
when
what I was going
Ronan
to say.
talks
That's
to
exactly
him.
what I was going to say. I was just watching Guardians of the Galaxy 1 to prepare for the new one, and when they go to the Thanos' like realm, they gave it a name, whatever they call it,
Yeah.
sanctuary, and it's just all these like floating rock
You get
chunks.
the one Chitauri acolyte
Yeah.
talking to him.
The guy who gets his
or talking
fucking neck
for
broken
him.
by
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Force there, Hammer Force, but he's Thanos is on this little chair, whatever, and this is his quote unquote domain, and it's just like this one big piece of rock and a bunch of other pieces of rock. This is her version of that.
You're
it's
on a
one like piece
smaller
of rock
meteor
floating.
Then fucking Harry Stanton blew up in Armageddon. Oh shit! It's Harry Stamper.
Stampton,
Harry Stamper.
Stamperton.
Well, now I feel like my life has been wasted.
That's fair.
I couldn't remember an Armageddon fact. What an idiot, dude.
I had to Google it.
I gotta go home and tell my daddy was correct to leave me.
Well, you know what? Next
Aw.
May it'll be a lot easier for you to remember because we'll probably be watching that one.
Dude, I could fucking act out Armageddon right now for you.
All right,
I
do
could
it.
play every role.
I'll be Steven Tyler.
Opens up with Harry Stamper on the fucking oil rig hitting his golf balls out.
I don't want to miss a thing.
Do you think the only reason?
Even when I dream of you.
Do you think the only reason Liv Tyler was even in that movie is because her daddy was? The
Which
fucking-
way do you think it went? I was honestly thinking about that. Like, do you think it was they wanted Aerosmith for the song, so they got Liv Tyler
This
to do
is
the
this
role?
is this pre Lord of the Rings?
Yes.
Yes.
He has more pull.
But it's also Aerosmith in 1997 or 8 or whatever.
They were still,
Like,
they were still pretty big.
Still pretty big, dude.
Like people that I was in class with was like, I'm going to Aerosmith.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no, I think it's
what?
Steven Tyler getting his daughter a job.
I think so.
I
too.
wouldn't be shocked if I was wrong.
well, I was thinking like either like she was in it and she's like, oh, you need a song? Well, I know somebody.
Well,
Like,
no,
not like she had pull, but like that's how he got involved.
You think they have a different agent though?
Well, like
It's the
maybe,
same
well, that's,
agent,
but that's,
like,
that's what
hey.
I'm saying. Like maybe they cast her, and then they're like, oh, well, since she's in it, we could also get maybe that makes us be able to get Aerosmith to do this song.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
will
Michael Bay
say,
still wasn't a person.
Empire Records was
He never has been.
Empire Records had already been out.
True.
That's fair.
Very true. But besides Empire Records, maybe that thing you
Aerosmith
do,
videos.
I was gonna say,
Aerosmith
I can
videos
tell
is
you
it.
3 things she was in. Well, 5, because there's 3 Lord of the Rings movies. Like,
No, but I mean, like Aerosmith movies. That's
Yeah.
her biggest.
Aerosmith movies.
Aerosmith
yes,
movies.
that's what they are.
Arrows movies.
Armageddon.
Oh my God, I saw.
Armageddon's an Aerosmith movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're in this Barbara Walters dimension.
Barbara Walters.
Barbara Walters.
And this is 2020.
And
Nice.
she's like, "Hey, I want to fuck you, but you need like what do you want most in the world?" And he's like, I don't know," or something. And she like does this magic thing, and he just appears in like a robe and Mr. T chains.
Dope ass Mr. T bling.
But she is trying to seduce him. Like, there's no tomorrow. She's like, you want power? You want this?
You want power?
You want money? You want
Well,
everything?
and you know what? The robes that she gives him
Everything.
look the most like Doctor Strange robes. They have red in
Absolutely.
them. And they have like the neck collar. They don't have the cape.
It's not quite the amulet. It's much more Mr. T
Yeah,
chains.
And then-
it's hardcore, Mister. Because I didn't even see the cape at first. It was just like, "What do you want?" And it was like bling, and it appeared like I Dream of Jeannie style. And I was like, "He wants to be Mr. T."
Oh, so you just saw a popped collar and a lot of jewelry.
I just saw I didn't even see the collar, like the way the lighting was.
I just saw the jewelry.
necklaces,
Oh, okay.
and I was like, "So he wants a gold chain?"
I was
Like,
also-
What do you desire more than anybody else? Like a really disco-looking wardrobe, girl.
What do you want more than anything in the world? I want to pity the fool.
And then like it goes to her going into the shadows, and she like takes her collar off or like her cape or something and lays down
Oh,
with him.
right before they start fake fucking, they do kiss, and she's like,
Oh, yeah.
and he pulls away, and he's like, "Your lips are so cold," and she says some shit, and they start kissing again. She's like, "Are they cold now?" And he's like, "No," and I'm like, "You gave her time to cast a spell on her lips."
Yeah, you enchanted your lips.
You dick.
And then we have the Disney sex music that we
Which
were
I
talking
thought,
about.
like, at this part, she took her little cloak off, and then there's like, I didn't know she laid into bed at first.
Yeah.
I just saw her go away.
Oh yeah.
Like,
They're
I thought
"Ooh."
she dropped down. I was like, is she blowing him off screen
Fellatio.
right now?
Oh, she turned back into a cat.
Like, is this fellatio right now?
This is getting him in. Like,
But then he eventually lays in the bed. I'm like, oh, we're back to PG-13.
You've got to lick
and
it.
this is when we get the Snow White music.
Yeah, and she's telling him to take off his ring, and he's like, "I can't take it off. Only
You
fucking
take it off,
Lattimore
dirty
can."
girl.
You take it off. She's like, "No," because I'm assuming it's like you have to do
like
it
she,
yourself.
can't.
yeah, it's
You have to volunteer to give into the dark side.
Yep.
yeah.
You can't be forced, right?
Everything is at your own free will, and that's what Linda was saying. Also, like you have to choose this.
She's like, "Hey, I know what'll change your mind. Let me show you something." And she goes over to
She goes to Linder.
Lindman, whatever. And he is just hanging in some chains with this heavy black makeup under his eyes, like he's like a zombie.
Yeah.
And she's
With
like,
some orange
and she's
jumpsuit.
basically like, "Yo,
Yellow.
I'm torturing this old man. That's pretty fucking hot, right? You
You
wanna
like
take your
this?
ring off now?
Is that doing
what's
it for
What's
ya?
this doing for you? I'm torturing an old man, and he looks like he's dead." And so she's basically like, I mean, it's fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
Come with me, and we can rule the galaxy together. And he says, "No, that's impossible."
It's impossible.
And she
Obi-Wan
tells
never
him,
told you what happened
she-
to your stepmother.
and she tells him, she is literally like, "Do not defy me, or I will get my satisfaction from you some other way."
I'm getting my pleasure out you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rape you, bitch.
Yes.
Be there at 3:00.
Calm down, lady. Put it back in your pants.
So she's telling him how he doesn't have control of his power and he doesn't know how to do anything or whatever. And then power surges into his hand and it catches this web on fire, which is the web where his friend / master is being held.
Slight mentor.
Yeah, like this will burn your mentor to death, but hey, And then there's another zip zap battle. And
Doesn't he try and say the words to her again? And she's
Yeah.
like,
He also says them wrong, by the way.
Oh, he
it
does?
used to- yeah, instead of it like being, he says 2/3 of it correctly. He says the correct name. I command you instead of banish you. He says release me. I don't know if it's on purpose, but like it's a slightly different
I didn't even
statement.
catch that because she's literally just like, "You're a fucking idiot and you don't
Yeah.
know how anything works."
I didn't know if it was because he did that on because he said that or because she's that powerful.
Well, and I think the idea was like that would banish creatures in the
But not her.
the ether realm or whatever they were. But she's not that.
Oh, they're in
not
the
there.
asshole plane.
Yeah, well, they're not on the astral glide. That was before. They're in her magic realm now.
Oh,
This is
I
like
see what you're
Dormammu's
saying.
realm. This
Okay.
is where
This
she
is
meets
the astral horizon.
the
This is the astral
rising?
helicopter, not the astral plane.
Asshole rising.
I see an astral rising. I see
Some
Dormammu
hemorrhoids
on the plains.
All right. We both went a different direction with asshole.
Yes. Well, you know what? I tend to do that.
So he blasts her with his zip zap magic, and she's
Because now he's good at it out of
defeated.
nowhere.
Yeah, he's such a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Yeah,
all these fucking internet people
no
who can't
training.
stand all the new stuff. What a Mary Sue. Women
This
can't
is-
learn the
this is a
Force
fucking
overnight.
Mary Sue.
Yeah, this guy just being like, I don't know. Neat. It works.
Oh, I forgot. You're a woman. I'm a man. I will win.
I can always be better than you.
Duh.
By the way, the people we're talking about that hate Force Awakens, they would agree with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, fuck you guys.
It's like,
So-
this is fine.
he's trying to save this guy. He can't get him out of the web, and he's like, "Master!" And they immediately snap back to the real world.
He
So all you had
catches
to
on
do,
fire, by the way, remember?
oh yeah, and all he had to do was be subservient. The fire goes out, the web disappears. They get back to the real
Say
world.
master.
Yeah,
And the
just say
master's
master.
happy he doesn't have like death eyes anymore. He's
Yeah,
just
and-
Well,
like,
and by the
drops
way-
a little something. He's like, I tricked you.
I did
Yeah,
made
that's what I was
her-
about to say.
Like, I made her think that she had me be. So you're laying in this web, able to get out this whole time to
Fuck you.
teach me some Yoda lesson.
Yeah, I did this all to make you realize that you should, whatever.
That you
but
should
you
call
still
me
had to
master.
accept it yourself. And
It's
then-
all
and
for
it's
you,
like-
Damien.
oh, exactly. Yes. I did this for you.
Wong is fine, by the way, even though he caught on fire, kind of. I mean, I guess we said it was around him.
Yeah, it was
but
around
I
him.
feel like they were implying that he was going to burn.
Dr. Lindemann is definitely put some protective spell on him. Only you know his name. That's it. It's just you, Whitney. Nobody else knows his name. I'm sorry.
And I slept through half of this.
Not the first half where they said his name over. and
Oh
over,
my God.
Apparently.
Well, yeah, and so Wong wakes up, and that's when Dr. Latitude tells him that he tricked him. And and he's like, you have to make this choice on your own. And he's like, I don't understand anything that's happened in this movie,
But
and
I'm
I
here.
choose you, Latitude. And like,
It's one breath.
Yeah.
I don't understand a thing that's fucking happened, but I've made my choice.
Yeah, and and
Literally.
while this is happening, Morgan is in the nether realm
Back
or hell
with the
or
dick.
whatever, and the big talking penis dude
Master,
is
we'll
like,
call
"You
him."
finally." It was the nameless one on the IMDb credits.
Sure enough.
I was gonna say there are no credits in this movie. There were like 8 credits, and the movie was over. We didn't even see who did the score. You had to go on the internet for that.
Yeah.
But
No best boy?
the nameless. I didn't. I do. There were literally like 8 credits.
You
I
didn't
have
even get
no
key
idea.
grip.
Ugh.
Might have got key grip.
I got key grip.
First AD.
I get
But
some kind of grip.
The key anybody gets a credit.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones though.
But best boy, no love.
But that she's in the hell or whatever, and he's like, I'm taking away your gift because you done fucked up, and she turns into this terrible looking old lady,
Cottonhead.
and she just keeps screaming, "Answer me! Answer me!"
It is like 6 times in a row of answer me. Answer me.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Answer me. Like,
Yeah, no, this movie is
please
90.
answer her.
This movie
Yes.
is 93 minutes, and it could have been 87 if she only said "answer me" once.
It's like that cat on the wall that's just like.
But also, some of these things
Fuck
that.
that cat. Fuck that cat, dude.
Some of these things that extended the runtime make a lot more sense knowing that it's a TV movie, because you have to get a certain runtime to fit in a certain amount of commercials.
Uh-huh.
And this is 1978, so a 93-minute movie, probably a 2-hour presentation on television. Versus like now it would be like 93-minute. Well, that's a 4-hour presentation on television.
Holy shit. Clear your fucking afternoon, guy.
Oh, you made a made-for-television movie that's over an hour? Well, it's about to be 7.5.
Made by Michael Bay.
Oh, then it would be a lot less. The commercials are in the movie. It's fine.
No, he's doubling down, guy.
So that he's told by a nameless voice who presumably is the Ancient One, which they kind of mentioned.
Oh yeah,
in a minute.
because he absorbs all of Lindor's powers.
Yeah, he gets the Lindor chocolate truffle powers.
You're like a child with a loaded gun. You're going to
Yeah.
cause harm to yourself. You have
And
to wait
others.
till the Ancient One teaches you.
So he gets the guardianship of the light or whatever from the Ancient One, and it's just this glowing cube that shows up in front of him and electrocutes him and Dr. Lazantine.
What's the first thing in the Tesseract?
Yeah, it's the Tesseract.
It's the
basically. It's a
Tesseract.
large
Yeah.
Tesseract.
Man, Stan Lee's a genius.
It takes the power from
did help on
Listerine
this.
and gives it to Doctor Strange. And then his cool, like, red and black robes that he got from Morgan Le Fay turn into really
That was me.
dumb.
My boobs hit the mic.
That's a good reason for the mic to rock, dude.
His cool red and black robes he got. Now I'm gonna crack my voice.
Yeah, right.
His cool red and black robes he got from Jessica Walters turn into these really like
Gold and
turquoise and
purple?
purple and gold like things with like a Captain Marvel logo. It's not a Doctor Strange logo.
Okay,
Okay,
Captain Marvel.
I
I was thinking. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, I just didn't know
reminded me
what
of
it was.
Nova, but it's Captain Marvel.
It's similar to the Nova thing, which is not a surprise. They rip themselves off all the time.
Yeah.
but it's very much Captain Marvel's.
No, I
logo.
think you named it. It's Captain Marvel's whole fucking like starburst thing.
Yeah.
You had more Doctor Strange robes with this Mr. T fucking
Yeah.
Morgana look, and
Yeah.
now you changed it to this out of nowhere sci-fi,
And
not
I mean,
mysticism.
I find no information on the internet about this being a planned continuation, but this clearly is something that they were like, maybe this is like a TV movie that could turn into a backdoor pilot.
Sure.
Or like a series of television features or something.
Early shared universe.
Yeah, because this is very clearly setting up there could be more.
Yeah.
Like he gets his new costume. Morgan Le Fay comes
I was
back
gonna say,
somehow.
now we're about to talk about the very, like, I guess it's an in-movie stinger. Because as
Yeah.
you had mentioned earlier, they said this whole thing about, he said this whole thing, he being Doctor Strange, about can't get involved with patients, homework, all this, and now he's doing it again.
Yeah.
Because he's testing to see if she remembers.
Yeah, and they have the exact same conversation. Down to
But
a
they
T,
stop
basically.
at a TV set which has Jessica Walters talking about
Yeah.
very early self-help.
Yeah, this is 100%
Yes.
The
like
power
her Tony Robbins.
to better yourself is inside you. You can unlock the power inside you.
and
Whitney.
that's the fucked up thing is that's what she's saying on the newscast. Or these people are interviewing her because she's been popular for 3.5 minutes, I guess. and
But
there's
you
not a lot
have
going
all
on in
these young
1978.
people behind you.
Yeah, and she's surrounded by a bunch of Mansonites, who, not Marilyn, but Charlie. And
Charlie.
Charlie Manson, you know.
This is children of the porn.
Yes, children of the porn.
And
Don't celebrate that.
She's literally saying like the power's inside you, whatever. But what she's talking about is like, turning people evil, like controlling them. Because all these kids they show, she's like, wow, all these people, these young people seem to be following
I
you.
only
You
saw
must be
two.
popular.
we like to follow you.
Yeah, they show their faces and they are straight up like blank slate
Yeah.
zombie people.
They're 100% under the.
They're 100%
Spell?
1,000-yard stare.
Yes.
I will say though, when Clea's watching this, they're watching it, and he's looking at her like, "Oh shit, this is gonna give her like PTSD flashbacks, whatever."
Oh, shit,
she's watching it, and she goes,
This is dumb.
"Yeah." She like gasps, and he goes, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "This is really dumb."
and I think she's speaking to the audience.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yes,
You just finished this movie, and you're like,
this
"Yup,
is dumb.
sure is dumb."
Because I think I posed to both of you while watching it, it means that whatever this nameless one is agreed to Jessica Walters, like, because she's like, give me back my youth, I'll serve you however you want.
Yeah,
So-
so he
Oh.
tortured her for 11 minutes of making her old, and then but I mean, I don't know
She
how time
promised
passes
him.
in
She
hell.
promised him souls.
She
Hey.
promised him butt sex.
I don't know how time passes in the hell dimension or whatever this guy lives. So maybe she was actually like 1,000 years of being tortured.
And for our time,
and
it
then
was
finally
minutes.
he was like, "Hey, you
Sure.
want to go back?"
Again, we are doing work this movie did not do.
She's real committed again.
Yeah.
Like she's not flaky anymore. So this movie's over. And if you're not surprised, if you're surprised that we didn't really talk about this movie a lot, it's because nothing fucking. This is the most boring movie we've done, and we did Laser Blast.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can sum it up in what, like 10 seconds. What did you say? It was Fro Boy.
Froman learns magic. Lady gets saved.
Done.
Old dude dies? Question mark.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like they said,
He's
they
still
said like
alive.
it looked like he stole all his life force, and then Wong's like, "Yeah, no, he'll be fine tomorrow."
Oh, and to go back, he does say,
Let's get
he's
an
like-
ambulance.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
A
Before
wambulance.
that, he said, let's get.
Do you have your vagina badge?
No, he says, what comes with being like Sorcerer Supreme or whatever title he says, and he's like, what comes with it? He's like, you will never have offspring, and you'll never have an easy death.
Yep, there you go.
And he even our Doctor Strange, Cole Hauser, says, does that mean I can't love? He goes, no, the universe is love. You can have that. You just can't reproduce. Okay, sure. That sounds great. But when he says you won't have an easy death, and we watch this old dude go down and fall, I'm like,
Yeah, he
okay,
goes
so that's
down.
his non-easy death.
Yeah.
He got killed by magic by passing his shit off. And he's like, no, he'll recover.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
well,
it
no, we
looks
need to
like
call an
easy
ambulance.
death, and the fact that he just falls over, but it could be extremely painful. But yeah, he'll be fine.
He's like, we need to call the ambulance, and this is where like the voice is like, no.
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna call the ambulance. We're gonna call 911. And that voice is like, you brought this OD and doctor into my house, or OD
Prank caller, wrong number.
Get my little black magic book. What fucking spell book? I've never seen a spell book.
Jack, I have a question for you. Would you recommend this movie?
No, I went through I went back a roller coaster emotion while watching this movie,
Yeah,
where I was like,
me too, honestly.
Yeah, when it opened, I thought, oh man, they're gonna make this a horror movie.
Yeah, it did have that horror feel.
Not knowing it was made for TV,
A horror porn.
All very boring the whole way. But while this movie is boring, the score was amazing. So I will not recommend to watch it. But I will say, if you don't have to pay for it, put it on, smoke a joint, and just
listen?
enjoy the listen. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, I agree. Treat it like a fucking radio cast. Like you're listening to silent radio, or not silent radio, sorry.
Silent radio is the soundtrack.
Radio dramas. That's what I meant. Like you're listening to radio dramas. Because sure, there's some stuff to see, but not really. So if you can find it on like YouTube or something, like put it on, because this score is dope. Other than the Disney scene,
Yeah.
And but this movie, while we were watching it, and I was bored, I was like, I still might kind of recommend this because like it's a cinematic kind of nugget from the past. Like it's something weird to see, especially with the world of the MCU.
I went through a bunch of the same emotions,
but it just in the end nothing ever occurs.
I can't. I mean, with my friend here falling asleep to it, it's hard. It's a hard recommend.
Yeah, now I know how she feels all the time when I'm falling asleep watching shit.
This is literally the first time I've done this, though. I've never fallen
We're
asleep.
keeping track now. So no recommend to me, Derek. No recommend.
I'm obviously not
Whitney
going
is
to recommend.
hard recommending if you need a nap.
Yes, if you need a nap and
Is
you
this
want to
white noise
listen
for you?
to this awesome, like you think porn is going to happen, so you're hearing it and you're going to dream it.
Well, you could call it like like with the napping aspect, you could call it like a day after kind of hangover watching thing where it's like, but the problem is you're not going to wake up and go, wow, that was cool. You're going to wake up and go, this is still happening.
Yeah.
What part do you wake up to that you're excited about?
None.
The acid trip.
Maybe.
That's
slept through
literally
that,
it.
sorry.
Literally
Don't
the
be.
part with the weird color effects and he's like spiraling and stuff is the most visually interesting part of this movie. Even the special effects of the magic are trash. And again, 1978 TV, that's fine. But you didn't even try to make this a Doctor Strange movie.
Here's my bottom line for me. It's not charming.
No.
So that has something
Fake
to
Cole
do with
Hauser is though.
So like I obviously
Captivating.
we joked about it. I did sleep through part of this movie like a couple times. Still got all the fucking pop points.
More than I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know more names than the people that stayed awake. Good job, guy.
Yeah.
Oof.
So whatever. But hey, the good news is none of us are recommending it, and you can't find it.
Yes. And if you don't spend money on this,
I know there's DVDs on Amazon. Shout Factory has this Blu-ray, but it's not something that's available through Shout Factory right now. So you're gonna go overpay for it on Amazon or eBay.
don't do it.
Maybe if it's on YouTube and you're bored, but I still wouldn't recommend it. Just don't. You know what? There are 2 other Doctor Strange movies that I would recommend exponentially more than this.
Also,
Both
maybe
with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
maybe you have a cinephile friend like we do that had this. and
Again, big
loaned it
ups to
us.
Vern. Big
Oh.
ups
Yeah,
to Vern.
Vern,
Vern
dude.
is
thank you.
going to be
Here's
a
Golf clap for
fertile
you.
source. As long as we keep going with this, he will be a fertile source for our June superhero spectaculars because he has informed me that he has the Roger Corman 1990s Fantastic Four, which was never actually really released.
Okay. Oh, I know that one.
He's
I watched
got
a whole documentary about that
the
movie.
1990 and maybe an earlier 1970 or something Captain America. I feel
Yeah.
like he said. So, we've
right.
got some stuff.
Vern, if you'd like to join us, please
Yes.
email us at
badmoviesworstpeople@gmail.com.
I will not take a request in person.
No more.
But yeah, I'm sure he'll be here. He will be our resident Disney expert if Disney movies are ever covered.
I can't wait to sit across from Vern.
I received this movie.
He'll sit right here.
My
He's a
wife
tall
handed me a
drink at
bag
Disney.
that Vern had brought me this movie in, and it's a plastic bag with Mickey Mouse on it. And I didn't know what was in it. She held it out to me, and I was like, "Oh, you saw Vern today?" Love him.
That's
I
beautiful.
fucking love Vern. Oh my gosh.
But so yes, we don't recommend this movie. Don't ever watch this movie. This is the Superhero Spectacular month, which I did not mention at the top of the podcast. Fucking whatever.
Spectacular.
So for the month of June, We will do superhero movies because they are, these days, big summer spectaculars. They were not when this came out. This month we will be doing The Phantom, which I think I love.
I'm excited to
I
do
am
this.
so excited for this. I love me some Billy Zane.
Out of every movie we have
Zaniac.
done, every movie we have done on this podcast, I have seen The Phantom more than anything.
Yeah.
Period.
All right.
I've seen it.
I think I've seen it like 5 times.
I want to say somewhere in between, and it was all on TV, like, and then as a kid, whatever, and it was just on because my mom
Anytime it
would
was
watch
on,
it. I wonder
yes.
why Billy Zane's in it, but it would be on like the afternoon matinee, whatever. I probably saw it somewhere in the realm of 12 to 30 times. It's hard for me
a lot of time.
but it's hard for me to distinguish because I feel like this movie was just on.
Also-
it was this and was it Jewel of the Nile? No, what's the
Yeah.
one that came before
Romancing
that?
the
Romancing the Stone.
Those were on all the time.
Yeah, KTTU, baby.
So, yeah. So, I've seen it a bunch of times. So, it'll be that one, Dark Phoenix, and the Supergirl movie from 1984.
Oh, snap.
So, I don't know what's going to be next, but
luck.
it's one of those.
We'll see.
Oh, we will see.
We will. Hopefully, you don't have
All
to
that's
for
left
most
to
of
do
them.
is see.
I'm already, by the way, calling it. Recommend on the Phantom.
I'm
haven't
gonna
seen it.
Dude, is
I
Babe
probably-
Ruth your fucking Phantom movie?
I probably
He's
haven't seen
calling
it.
his shots right now like Baby
He
Ruth.
just did. He kissed his finger and pointed.
I probably haven't seen it since I was 14 at the oldest, and I'm still going to recommend it. I watched the trailer and was like, yo.
Oh, I hope you eat fucking crow on that.
I'm also going to say Amazon has it. I had to pay to rent it on Amazon. Amazon has it recommended as or classified as comedy, action, adventure, or something. I was like, I don't think when they filmed it, it was a comedy.
It wasn't supposed to be.
I think Amazon has it classified as a comedy.
But where else are you
not
going to
a good
get
sign.
Billy Zane in a purple unitard riding a white horse?
Just my dream.
In the jungle. He rides a horse in the jungle. We'll get to that. All right. I have been. Wait.
Oh, close it out, babe.
Can't forget. I
Where's
gotta
our
mention,
music come from?
Yes, I gotta mention
Gotta
Evasion.
shout out a fucking great band.
Yes, I gotta shout out Evasion. Check them out. Bandcamp, Spotify, Facebook, wherever. Google it. Maybe you'll find them.
Just send them money. Just like find them on their Facebook or whatever and just be like, we like you. Here's some fucking money.
But yeah, just go down to the Moonsmoke shop, say I have some money for Evasion, and give it to them. They'll take care of you.
Yes, they will.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. badmoviesworstpeople.com. Send us an email, all of that stuff. Buy some shirts. We'll see you next week. I'm Derek.
I was the sleepy Whitney.
I'm Dr. Jack.
Good night and go fuck yourself.
Dr. Jack is not a good name. Like,
Dr.
that's so
Jack
bad.
me.
Dr. Jack.
Tablespoon of cocaine.
That's 3 tisps.
It's time to get up. Woo!
Johnny who?
You just turned right into Ric Flair.
After a fucking tablespoon of cocaine, you better fucking believe it.
And I don't just mean the wooing. Woo! You walk
I'm gonna
out,
start
and
chest
there's
slapping every
Yeah, there's the
motherfucker.
mailman bringing up your mail. You're just like, whap, woo!
That's why I no longer have children.
Oh, that's what no longer?
Time to wake up. Woo! Just chest slapping.
Look, you're under 8. And you only get a teaspoon.
Oh,
You're lucky I didn't go off the top fucking ropes, Junior.
damn. Damn,
Oh
son.
shit, it's your stepmom with the steel chair.
By God!
What
He's
is-
going right back where he came.
What am I watching right now?
Wrestling.